And I'm Pam Puso, Fox News. In a 46-page lawsuit, the city of Chicago says it's illegal for the federal government to withhold public safety grant money from so-called sanctuary cities. Corporation counsel Ed Siskel says the city was forced to make a move because of what he calls the Trump administration's rhetoric and threats.
These are funds that for years the police department has used for essential programs.
The Department of Justice reacting by calling out Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
A statement from the DOJ said it is tragic that Emanuel is less concerned with the staggering crime statistics in Chicago than protecting criminal aliens and putting Chicago's law enforcement at risk. Chicago is not the only so-called sanctuary city seeking to push back against the Trump administration and their immigration policies. It is, however, the first to file suit.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Chicago. Heating up on Twitter, a war of words between President Trump and Senate Democrat Richard Blumenthal.
The Twitter tug-of-war started this morning, around the same time Senator Blumenthal talked about the Russia probe on CNN. The president, apparently upset by the interview, called him a phony Vietnam con artist. Blumenthal hit back, tweeting, "Mr. President, your bullying hasn't worked before and it won't work now."
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Damage is being assessed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where officials say hundreds of homes were impacted by a tornado.
I thought it was a clap of thunder to find out it was a tree landing on my house.
The weekend twister injured about 30 people. A tragic accident on a lake east of Dallas claims another life. A third Boy Scout has died from injuries suffered when a sailboat struck an overhanging power line. The utility that owns the line is investigating. At the closing bell on Wall Street, another record, the Dow up 25. Fox News, fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
All right, man. 7 ballparks in 7 days. Here we go.
I've got my maps.
You don't need them. Huh? I got a nav system. See, you can even pinch to zoom. Look at.
And with available Sync 3 and voice-activated navigation, Ford Fusion has the tech to get you there and back.
Okay, you're holding that map upside down, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I thought Indiana looked strange.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Get 0% financing for 72 months on select Fusion, Escape, Edge, and Explorer models. Plus, get $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends August 22nd. Best selling based on current year 2016 sales. Don't drive while distracted. Use voice-operated systems when possible. Don't use handheld devices while driving. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month per $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade Assist Cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after new retail delivery. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take delivery from dealer stock by August 22nd, 2017.
200 days, Republicans have been in control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. But so far, the GOP doesn't have much to show for itself.
The two things that were at the top of the Republican agenda in January when they took control of every branch of government are still on the to-do list: repealing and replacing Obamacare and reforming the tax code. Here is how Speaker Ryan explained their 200-day plan at the very beginning of the year.
Our goal is to get these laws done in 2017. We aspire to get most of these big things done by the August recess because that's when Congress does most of its legislating.
But members of Congress went on recess empty-handed, even though, as Speaker Ryan pointed out to constituents once he got back to Wisconsin, Republicans have a unified government right now for just the third time in a century.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Washington. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi says despite having full control of the legislative process, the Republican Congress hasn't lifted a finger to raise wages, invest in our crumbling infrastructure, or avert a catastrophic default on the full faith and credit of the U.S. Still no suspects 2 days after a mosque in suburban Minneapolis was bombed.
Witnesses say the explosive was tossed from a vehicle that sped off. Neighbors say they felt a loud bang. Several Muslim groups are offering rewards totaling more than $20,000, leading to an arrest. The FBI is the lead agency in this investigation, and so far it has not released any details on a suspect ID. The mosque executive director says the center has received hate calls and emails before, but no hate crimes have ever been reported.
Fox's Matt Finn in our Midwest Bureau. Nobody was hurt in the blast. For the third time in 4 days, a high-rise in Dubai has caught fire, forcing the evacuation of a beachfront hotel. No injuries reported. The fire was out in about 20 minutes. Pam Puso, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service, brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to help keep you comfortable all year long. That's 866-EXPERTS, or visit online at chiefbauer.com. 52 the low tonight, 81 and sunny tomorrow with a low of 57, and 82 and sunny on Wednesday with a low of 59. Looks like a beautiful week all around with highs in the low 80s. Right now 76 and cloudy. ESPN Radio.
So, I think it's come to that time where I reach into the bag, because you always have to secure the bag. So, I would like to take my talents to the University of... Hey, University of Illinois, man. Ain't no more playing, man. Yeah. Orange and blue, big eye. Fighting the line now. Hey. Illinois. Because I feel like Coach Lovie Smith has a lot of connections to the league, and I feel like that's where I want to go. I want to further my playing to the NFL.
All right. Sounds like a really happy kid. I love it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of spirit.
And
Calvin Avery.
Fans there were really excited as well. That is Calvin Avery, the 4-star defensive lineman out of Texas. He did. He chose the Fighting Illini, and that is a huge coup for this coaching staff. I think I saw Jeremy's report that they are now the 38th ranked class in the country. And, of course, having a 4-star defensive lineman can do that. Not only a 4-star, Kurt, but a position that is in so much need everywhere at every college, and to grab one of the best in high school is huge. It is the Tay and J Show. I'm Lon Tay. He is Mike Carpenter, and we're going to talk all about Calvin Avery today. In fact, we're going to hear from Jeremy Warner in the 5 o'clock hour. He's going to talk about, of course, training camp. That continues for Illinois. Speaking of good weather, they're getting excellent weather right now for training camp, and we will ask Jeremy about Calvin Avery. But Carp, I mean, you know, this is a class that started slow. 3 or 4 of the first few guys didn't even have a Power 5 offer, and now all of a sudden Illinois lands a 4-star defensive lineman, and that's huge for Illinois. Yeah,
a little bit of momentum. And
yes.
It's kind of funny because I don't know if last year we were in the same sort of spot. I think you already had Ricky Smalling at this point.
He was the very first guy.
Yeah, and you had a few other names that you felt confident about, but then there was a lull.
Yes.
Which you kind of fixed as you got into December, and towards the end of that recruiting class, ended up having a really solid first-year class for a coaching staff that hadn't even been there a full year.
No.
But I think it's fair to say that so far for the second class, there were concerns about, okay, well, you know, how good is this class? How good of a recruiting staff is this coaching staff? And to get a guy like Calvin Avery is, I think, a little bit of, okay, we can relax.
Right.
Maybe this plan that the coaching staff has in place could work, could come to fruition. This is, after all, a full 4-star defensive tackle, and he picked Illinois over TCU, Oklahoma, USC, Colorado. And those weren't just, those weren't those kind of fake, flimsy offers.
Exactly.
I mean,
especially
these schools all
TCU.
won.
Absolutely. A home state school for Calvin Avery. So this is huge. I mean, last year, Illinois ranked in the top, I'm going to say top 40. Let's say 35, I think, in terms of their class overall. Now, that still has to pan out, right? These kids still have to make an impression, make plays, et cetera, on the field. But now all of a sudden, if you start combining back-to-back top 40 classes and work on another one next year, Carp, we always talk about, as Illini fans, what do we want more than anything? Yeah, we want a Rose Bowl. Yeah, that'd be great to play in the college championship. I mean, that'd be wonderful. Yes, it would be great to win a Big Ten title, Big Ten West title, and even play in the Big Ten championship game. But more than anything, we want to be consistently good for a few years, right? We want 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row where Illinois football is winning 6, 7, 8, 9 games, and it all starts with classes like this, when you can start adding depth on top of each other, and that's where you start to put together the program that Illinois fans want. That's where you start to put together the Iowa kind of program, the Wisconsin kind of program, where every year those schools are vying for a West title, and they're always in a bowl game, and that's what's starting to happen, and that's what's exciting for me, Carp. It's hard because you see it, but it's also, you also realize it's going to be 2-3 years down the road before you kind of get the fruit of that, if you will. So it's hard to be patient, but yet you have to understand what's happening. And hopefully, and I say hopefully because we've seen it go wrong before, hopefully now you start to put together classes to where you have a solid program down the road.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think after Ron Zook, I had in my mind that anybody could come in here and immediately get a top 20 class. I thought that with Lovie Smith, and that was probably a little bit too generous on my part for someone that had not been a collegiate head coach ever.
Right.
That he was just going to come in here. And, yes, he had ties in Florida. He had ties in Texas. He's using those well.
Yes, he is.
They are getting stronger, those pipelines. And it's good to see a guy like Andrew Hayes-Stoker as well, the coach that had really been working on this recruitment to finally get one of the big ones to pan out. And you're right. I mean, the tricky thing with recruiting and why it's harder for me to get too up or down with football recruiting is that we could go back to the team that won the Rose Bowl in 2007 and look at a class that might have included a Justin Harrison and a Kevin Mitchell and a Jay Lehman on defense and think, okay, well, what was that class ranked? I'm not sure I'd have to effort that. And maybe it was a good class because that would have been post-Sugar Bowl for Ron Turner or at least a couple years after that. But by no means were a lot of those guys these really highly touted individuals. It's all going to come down to, okay, build these top 40 level classes, and then if we trust Lovie Smith and the good staff that he's placed around him, develop them.
Yes.
Because I'm not seeing Iowa and Wisconsin consistently in the top 15 or top 20.
Not at all.
But they are getting it done, and that is the template for what you can do without a bunch of five-star kids.
That's well said. Evaluation and development, right? That's what you hope for in a coaching staff. You hope that they are evaluating and choosing the right kids. Now, a kid like Calvin Avery, everybody in the country would take him. That's a pretty easy evaluation, Carp. You and I could probably watch him and say, yep, that's the guy I want. It's the guys that maybe don't have a lot of the Power 5 conference offers, and those are the ones that you hope, all right, I'm going to trust this coaching staff, that they see something in this kid that they think they can develop and make into a solid football player as a junior and senior especially. If you can get input from these guys, if you can get execution from them as a freshman or a sophomore, all the better. But that's what I'm looking for is by the time these guys are juniors and seniors, now they're producing on the field while another good player waits right behind them. It's called depth, right? Depth is huge, and that's hopefully what this Illinois staff is doing by evaluation and by development.
Yeah, and if you look at the needs that this roster had, they are really going after those needs.
Yes,
I like that as well because the line play, as cliche as it may be, the battles are won in the trenches.
No doubt.
And too often in Illinois' history, you get the occasional really good offensive line. You could go back to 2001 and name probably most of the guys on that line.
Exactly.
From Dave Deal to Tony Pashos to Luke Butkus. Well, those successful seasons are not by accident. And the common thread usually is really strong line play. And with Illinois and the kind of brand of football that I think Lovie is going to want to instill out there, especially for a team where I think they want to model themselves off of our defense is going to keep you around 20 points.
Correct.
And then we're going to run the ball, we're going to have a mobile quarterback, and we're just going to get whatever we need to
We're going
to
to tire you out and outscore you in the end.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the sexiest brand of football.
No.
But winning overcomes all of that.
It does.
And I think that knowing Lovie and what he did with the Bears, looking at that career record for rosters that were good, a couple of great ones you could argue, but they were always flawed, and he had to work around that. Now he gets to kind of make this program in his own image and be the GM. Now, I know that didn't work well with Tampa Bay, but being a collegiate head coach and probably getting those guys as they're younger and you can mold them that much more, there is some excitement, and this helps because I think that if you're an Illinois fan looking at this class and you're having a conversation on a Friday night after work, hey, what's the deal with Illinois? Yeah, I mean, because I think those conversations were happening, and I understand why they were.
Absolutely. And the other thing I'm excited about is now you have a coaching staff where a lot of these guys had coached in college before. The Luke Butkuses, the Garrick McGees, they have been in college before. But you also have your Hardy Nickersons and even your head coach, Lovie Smith, who had never really been through a college season. Now, Lovie Smith was a linebackers coach in college years ago. I get that. But now as a head coach, he just went through his first year as a head coach. And I don't care how experienced you are at coaching, and he obviously is, as you look at his resume, you know there are still things that he learned during that first year, and now he is better for it in the second year. Same with Hardy Nickerson. Same with a lot of these guys that they have pulled up. That excites me as well, that now they're going into a second season. It's like doing a job. It's like coming in here and doing a radio show. You do it, you haven't done it before, you do it for a week. I guess what? That second week's going to be a lot smoother. You're going to run the board better. You're going to hit breaks better. And that's what I'm excited about with regards to this coaching staff next year, especially, or this year, going forward. And again, we just have to be patient. And I know you and I, when we start the Tay and Carp show, it's just called Tay and Carp. When we start that, we are going to bring back Dare to Dream. Like we did about, 3-4 years ago? Did we do that because they were 6-0?
We did that before they were 6-0.
Oh, before they were 6-0.
So that would have been 2011, and you and I had to do a show. Jeremy was gone one day.
Yes.
And we decided to have some fun with the Dare to Dream, and it was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but we did look at that schedule and think, okay, they went 7-6 last year, impressive bowl win against what we didn't realize was Robert Griffin III, future Heisman winner.
Exactly.
But you felt like, okay, well, there's some breaks in the schedule, and we said, 9-3.
We did.
We looked really smart for a while.
Yes, because they were 6-0 out of the gates.
And they should have been 9-3. There's a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas in Illinois history. Ron Zook had the most of them. Okay, so I had mentioned the Rose Bowl team in 07.
Right.
And the class of Jay Lehman, Kevin Mitchell, one example of a class that may not have been ranked that highly that still was able to achieve some success.
They produced.
Well, come to find out, actually, I'm looking at the Illinois 2003 commit list.
Okay.
Now, there were only a couple of those guys, Martin O'Donnell, Kevin Mitchell, Jay Lehman, that were big parts of that Rose Bowl team. The rest of that class was ranked 23rd in the nation, according to Scout.
Wow.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Because the narrative was always Ron Turner was not a good recruiter.
Right.
On paper, this is a pretty good class. Kelvin Hayden was another one.
Yep.
Alan Ball, Pierre Thomas.
Guys that have all played many years in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm trying to see of some other ones here. Marcus Mason was a running back that never quite,
No, he didn't.
When you had Pierre Thomas and E.B. Halsey in front of you, that didn't help either. And then in 2004, that class with a lot more Rose Bowl contributors was ranked 30th in the nation, according to
Isn't it amazing? And that's the thing. Those rankings, while for the most part they get them fairly close. I mean, I think they're not going to rank somebody 100th when they're all of a sudden playing in a bowl game 2 years later.
Oh wait, and that's my mistake on that actually. The national rank in 2004, according to Scout, for that class was 57.
Okay,
and that was a mere 2 years after that January 2002 Sugar Bowl game. And looking on that, okay, Xavier Fulton, he had a good career,
yes,
right?
He did.
Ryan McDonald made an impact on the offensive line.
Is that about it?
I'm seeming to, Justin Harrison.
Yes.
Jason Rita.
Yeah, good kicker.
Jody Ellis, that was short-lived.
Yes, that was
short-lived. Him and McPherson, right?
Right,
the kid that came in next year. Okay, so, but I think that, I don't know if that really helps or hurts my point.
No.
Point being that what we've seen far too much, and Ron Zook actually might have been the best example, or the worst example of this, where you had consistently good recruiting classes and the occasional guy that would develop as you would hope.
Correct.
There were so many times that you go into a season, 2008 and 2009 mostly, and look at that roster and think we are flush with talent.
Yes.
And most would have agreed with that.
Yes.
And yet you just weren't able to see that on the field. I think there's a balance that can be struck here by this coaching staff where they may not ever be getting blue chip recruits consistently. But if Lovie Smith is good at one thing, it's kind of instilling, here's the culture, here's how we're going to run things. He did that with a pro locker room. So I am anxious to see this year with all these freshmen that are going to be out there, how quickly do they adopt that style? How quickly do we start seeing on the field visible improvement?
Correct.
Because if we do with a really young roster this year, then I think next year you actually go into it with some enthusiasm.
You do. You with a lot of optimistic.
There's still a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And it's hard for a true freshman, especially on that line, either side, to really make an impact. But this year, Illinois is going to need some of that to happen. We are going to visit with Jeremy Warner in the 5 o'clock hour. Speaking of football, today is day one of high school football.
Yeah.
Practices have begun all throughout the state and, of course, in central Illinois. And at 3:45 this hour, we're going to visit with our buddy Brett Behrens from WCIA3, kind of get his preview of this year. I'm anxious to ask him about the Champaign schools and Urbana, of course, in the Big 12, and Unity down the road should be really good. They've got a squad loaded with a lot of offensive weapons. St. Joe's always good, and on, Tuscola, etc. So we'll visit with with Brett Barons, kind of see his thoughts on what this year is going to bring. I know that is a busy time for all the local sports guys because they're out covering practices right now. At 4:05, as we do every other Monday, and it's brought to you by Pekin Insurance, Mike Claiborne from the Cardinals and KMOX. He will join us to talk St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And here we sit, Carp, August 7th, in one of the weirdest years I've ever watched, and the Cardinals are 3.5 games out of first.
And what, four back in the loss column? I think that's it.
If they would have taken care of business Thursday and Friday and one-run losses that they should have won those games, they would be sitting here a game and a half out of first right now. It's goofy. It's just crazy.
It's a crazy season for a lot of teams.
It is.
Very little consistency if you aren't named the Dodgers.
That's correct.
Nationals.
And Astros.
And Astros.
Without a doubt.
Those three teams, great. I think Boston's starting to... I mean, granted, when you play the White Sox for 4 games, anyone's going to look good.
That helps, right?
But yeah, this is a really bizarre year for the Cardinals that they just don't pass the eye test.
Correct.
And yet, that division, I think it actually says more about the Cubs and that post-World Series struggle where, you know, the Cubs actually, if you look back at other past World Series winners, are in better position than most of them at this point in the year. Maybe there is something in this World Series hangover.
There might be.
I don't know, but the fact the Cardinals are in it and there's still a good chunk of games between them and the Cubs, which who would have thought, you know, even a couple weeks ago or post All-Star break when the Cubs made their run, that you could have meaningful September games between the Cubs and Cardinals.
It'd be great.
It looks like that's what's going to happen.
And a ton of games, I know, for the Cardinals, and I'm sure it's the case for the Cubbies, a ton of division games the rest of the year for the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's not good with regards to what they've done already. Their division record is not good. It's like 6-7 games under 500, so they would have to turn that around if they're going to make an impact.
They should progress to the mean, though, right?
You would think,
I mean,
right?
The Reds usually are the elixir that fixes everything. They're pretty awful this year.
Right.
Pirates had their run.
They did.
And, okay, they're where they are. The Brewers are interesting because they can mash.
They can.
That's a good lineup up there. And then the Cubs could still end up being the Cubs.
Without a doubt.
But, it's a weird season, too, because you don't want to crown anybody beforehand. And I know that there's we got to see the Dodgers do it in the postseason. But
they're so good.
Come on. I mean,
and adding Yu Darvish to that, just all it does is just lengthen that rotation that last year was an issue for them, even in the playoffs when Rich Hill was the guy needing to pitch, and he did pitch well. But now you've lengthened that rotation. Their bullpen is really good, and their offense, we know, can score.
If Cubs fans want a little bit of, this could happen, and I don't think they need that. I think they know that this team's capable of it, but this could be reminiscent if the Cubs end up, let's say, popping off the Dodgers in the first or second round of the playoffs. 2001, Seattle sets the all-time wins record. And the Yankees take care of them in 5 games.
Isn't
in the
that
ALCS.
weird? Very weird.
Defending champion Yankees that had struggled down the stretch. Pretty ugly towards the end of that season. They got it done somehow. Well, that might have been 2000.
Because they knew how to win, right?
Yeah.
That's key.
And this Cubs team, I mean, that's one thing I don't think we should forget either, because last year certainly was the World Series run, but 2015 kind of cut their teeth on it a little bit. I know the NLCS was not, it was terrible. It was a sweep. So that's all you need to know about that. But leading up to that, to be able to get that kind of postseason experience, that you would never count them out if they get in. I think they get in, but it's so weird that we're still saying maybe.
Right, that's
maybe
crazy.
There's a chance.
Next hour, too, at 4:30, we're going to go through some Big Ten teams over-under contest. We're going to find out what Vegas has for teams like Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio State, and you and I are going to see if we agree with an over-under number that is posted right now for a lot of these teams in the Big Ten. Again, we have Brett Barons at 3:45, Mike Claiborne at 4:05 to talk Cardinals, and Jeremy Warner in the 5 o'clock hour. Next, when we come back, I want to bring Austin in a little bit. I want to talk some pitching, as I know Carl Edwards Jr. for the Cubs, who has been so good, now all of a sudden faltering a little bit. I want to ask Austin, especially now that they've added Quintana, how does he think about this Cubs pitching? Is it going to be strong down the stretch? I have a deep thought on Carlos Martinez of the St. Louis Cardinals. Is he the ace? Is he truly an ace? He has another chance to prove that. I want to talk about that as well. You can always weigh in 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. That's the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line and the Chief Bauer text line. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. I tweet at Lonte, ESPN. See you.
And I tweet at Fanboy Carp. You can also download the WSJK app or get the podcast at ESPNCU.com or on iTunes, powered by GTPS Insurance. Looks like we got a trio in the call screen studio today. We got Harry Black, David Morrow and Austin Berkland on updates and production. Austin, I think, will join us in studio for the next segment for the update and some baseball talk. Other than that, I think that's the formalities. We mentioned Dare to Dream.
Yes.
And on the Cheap Hour text line, we have someone that might be doing that. Call me crazy, but I really think we can go 7-5 this year.
When you look at the schedule, it'll be interesting when you and I do our Dare to Dream show. It will be interesting how you and I both look at this season and see if they can post some wins.
I think if this were the schedule next year.
Yes.
Sure.
Right?
It's such bad timing.
It really is.
Because I think next year's schedule, if I remember, is just an absolute bear. And hey, things change.
You're right. You
By
never
the
know.
way, the PJ Fleck documentary was on. It was a Sunday night.
I missed it. No?
It was on last night, post Game of Thrones. Nothing else was on.
Okay.
And I turned to it and hate watched it for about 5 minutes. He is going to wear on people
Would
so
you
quickly.
have liked him? Now, we all agree we love Lovie Smith as our head coach.
If he would win, if you guarantee me PJ Fleck's going to win, absolutely.
I'll get over
the shtick
right.
and the novelty aspect of it. But down here, knowing that he could both be annoying and have success at Minnesota, I don't like that.
That's well said.
I'm not a fan.
359-2255. Keep them coming. On the Chief Bauer text line, you can also call the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. We'll talk a little baseball, pitching in general when we return. It is the Tay and J Show. DP Dough is the original Calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original Calzone company. Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Come to Campus Town on Thursday, August 17th, the final day of 13 Thursdays. Shop outside at participating merchants and enjoy great discounts and deals before the summer ends. Ragstop, Game Day Spirit, TIS, Illini Shop, Apricot Lane, and the Illini Union Bookstore expanding their storefronts to line the sidewalk with merchandise and apparel all day. Join for the last hurrah in Campus Town before the students return. Parking validation in the Campus Town parking deck included when you patronize participating businesses.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
This is Chuck Lee with Provident Financial Group. Are you sure you're on track to reach your retirement goals? Wondering how much money you'll need to last your lifetime? Whether you're retiring in a few weeks or a few years, we can analyze your needs and create a plan that's right for you. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
It's Game Day Spirits grand opening at 1602 South Neal Street, Friday, August 11th through the 13th. Game Day will kick off their grand opening with a live broadcast Friday from ESPN's Tay and J Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Score a free promotional t-shirt with any purchase while supplies last. 30% off all socks and high school Under Armour apparel. 25% off all jerseys and more. Plus, register to win the Game Day Illinois football experience, including 4 stadium club passes, tickets to the opening game, and a $100 Game Day gift card. It's the grand opening of Game Day Spirits' newest store, 1602 South Neal Street, the weekend of August 11th through the 13th.
When you're heading home, Tay and Jay are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkland with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change a subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. We start with the Illini. Lovie Smith secured a second commitment from Bishop Dunn High School in Dallas, Texas. First was offensive lineman Kevian Myers. Then on Friday evening, it was four-star defensive lineman Calvin Avery. The 6'2 Texan chose Illinois over Colorado, Oklahoma, TCU, and USC. This is Illinois' 12th commitment of the class, and here is the state breakdown. 6 prospects from Florida, 4 from the home state of Illinois, and 2 from Texas. That's a great start, Lovey. The Illini have some new competition in basketball for Talon Horton-Tucker. He secured an offer from Bill Self in Kansas.
Yeah.
Get away, Bill.
No doubt, right?
The Cubs fell twice to the Nationals over the weekend in Sunday's 9-4 loss. Carl Edwards Jr. gave up a grand slam to Matt Wieters in the 8th inning on Sunday. The Cubs travel to San Fran for a series against the Giants. Here's the pitching matchup for the series. Tonight it's Arrieta versus Moore. Tuesday it's Quintana versus Block. And Wednesday it's Hendricks versus Bumgarner. You can hear tonight's game at 9:15 on US 105.9.
Is Matt Wieters younger than me? He seems like he's my age.
I think so, even though he's just as surly as an old man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
The Cards took 2 of 3 against the Reds this past weekend. In a game Sunday, the Cards drubbed the Reds 13-4. Jose Martinez went deep. They play the Kansas City Reds at a home-and-home series. Dexter Fowler has been activated from the DL. Steven Piscotty has been designated for AAA Memphis. And the Miami Dolphins have signed former Bears quarterback Jay Cutler.
What?
I didn't know this was a clappable song.
I think I'm just clapping because Jay Cutler's back in the news.
Oh, well, that's a whole to-do with the national sports media.
I just think it's great because I'm not a Bears fan, so I don't dislike Jay Cutler, but I understand I'm close enough to the story that it's fun to hear everybody freak out. My Twitter and even Facebook, what do you call that? Your homepage or whatever
Your timeline?
Your timeline.
News feed.
Was unbelievably just cluttered with Jay Cutler. 90% of it negative.
I just don't get the energy in hating Jay Cutler.
I don't either.
It's not like he was the reason they lost games.
Right.
No. I mean, now, granted.
There were a lot of games, yeah.
I think basically people could not shake off early seasons when Jay Cutler was there. You had a defense that was Super Bowl ready.
Right.
You had an offense that was good enough. And I think that image, even if people, when they found out that, he tore up his knee and he wasn't going to come out in the second half against the Packers in that NFC title game.
Exactly.
I don't know. It was just this thing that he couldn't shake that, he doesn't really care as much as other guys.
Right.
And I think that's just his face is his face. He can't do anything about the expressions that he makes when he's not happy or sad or it just seemed like people were always nitpicking with Jay Cutler.
No, I agree with you. Okay, here's an outsider looking in, and then we're going to talk some baseball. The one thing about Jay Cutler, when I would watch the Bears, and a lot of times I would watch the Bears, I've always said they're kind of like my second favorite team because I grew up around it. My dad was a Bears fan. I live in Illinois. I've always been a Cardinals fan. They'll always be my number one, but I always kind of root for the Bears, and if they do well, that's cool because a lot of my friends are Bears fans, and I'm glad they're happy. I'm either watching the Bears because of that or because of fantasy purposes. Now, I did not have Jay Cutler, but it seems like I had Alshon Jeffrey one year, and it seems like in the second half, right when a pivotal play was going to happen in the Bears game, Cutler would throw off his back foot and throw an interception. And I would sit there, I could almost hear you and all the collective Bear fans go, here it is again. That was the one thing, right? It was just that one interception a game where you're like, what are you doing?
The interceptions, and then he looked more helpless, than anyone when he would try to tuck a ball super late.
Yes.
Standing completely upright, and then down, out it goes.
Yeah.
And then on a pivotal drive, sure. But at the same time, he had a lot of game-winning drives.
Yes, he did.
He was, I think, at the end of the day, still over 500 with the Bears. I saw someone tweet out that 17-29, and he gets $10 million a year.
Well,
okay. He had a pretty good year under Adam Gase.
I'm shocked it's only $10 million.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Mike Glennon's making $17 million, and Jay Cutler's done a lot more in the NFL than Mike Glennon.
Jay Cutler is a given. You know what you get with him. He's a good veteran quarterback. We'll see. He did have a major surgery in last year,
True.
so he still has to come back from that. He did make a comment today that people are getting all over, saying, well, fortunately a quarterback, I don't have to stay in that great a cardiovascular shape.
Oh, my goodness.
He was asked about, are you fit and ready to go? And
that's it, Jay. What do you
But
right?
You know what? I mean, he's kind of right. But
right.
You know what's going to happen is that people are going to jump on him about that, and we're probably going to hear a sports minute or a sports beat, if not today, tomorrow. Yep. Dari Noka is going to have something to say about Jay Cutler.
About not being in shape.
It's exhausting.
It is.
And you know what? I hope he goes 10-6, makes a wild card game, and gets in a playoff game one more time in his career.
You never know. That Miami team, they can run the football. So we'll see. He can hand off a lot and try to do some things for Miami. We'll see how that goes.
I think Adam Gase, I wish the Bears had went really outside the box.
Right.
And after year one, when Adam Gase was getting courted by the Dolphins, Ryan Pace goes to John Fox and says, John, I know this sounds kind of bad. I got to get rid of you.
Yeah, you're
I'm
gone.
keeping Adam Gase. I'm promoting Adam Gase to head coach.
And that's the thing. I mean, when Cutler was really good, and he did have a couple of really good years, a lot of times Gase was the guy. So we'll see what happens now in Miami with Jay Cutler. Austin's in studio with us. We're going to talk some pitching. I want to start with the Cubbies. What is happening to Carl Edwards Jr.? Because this kid, while slender as can be, has been really good for the last couple of seasons, and now all of a sudden you can't even trust him, Austin. What is going on with him? You watch the games. I don't necessarily with the Cubs. Is he missing location?
Yes.
Is he just getting behind every pitch or every batter, or what's going on with him?
It is a lot like a Carlos Marmol-itis type thing going on with just his head and his location. His velocity is fine because he can sling it about 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Literally sling it because he's not throwing it with that type of arm that he has. It's just that he can't hit that consistent fastball location, and then he gets behind in counts, then he's forced to butter some in, and then that's whenever those grand slams and those hard contact balls happen, and it's kind of frustrating, yet it's kind of worrisome as well. I don't know if a trip to Iowa would do him better, and then you work with Justin Wilson, work with what you have, and then bring Zastrisny up and not have that depth in the back of the rotation. But I do think a trip to Iowa is the right answer for Carl Edwards.
I mean, you're going to
now.
need him if you're going to do anything in the postseason. You're going to need Carl Edwards Jr. out of the bullpen. He was huge last year in that run to a World Series. I also want to ask you about Wilson Contreras. How good is he going to be? I mean, as a Cardinals fan, I was able to watch Yadi Molina for years and still watching him. And while Yadi was never an offensive juggernaut, he has improved his offensive game, but he's never been a 20 home run guy like Contreras now. I mean, how good can this guy be? He's unbelievable.
I have not seen a player other than maybe the Chris Bryants and Anthony Rizzo's, Bryce Harper's of the world, to really attack a first pitch the way Wilson Contreras attacks a first pitch.
Interesting.
Whenever you watch him, you're like, okay, if they lace one in to the first pitch, that thing's gone. You saw it in his first game last year on Father's Day, whenever he hit that ball out on that pinch hit appearance, and he's doing that again. So if he gets ahead in the account,
look out,
and then it's done.
Yep,
he's either going to walk or he's going to hit that ball a long way.
Well, and he's a heck of a catcher.
Yes,
I mean he's a heck of a catcher, and I mean his second year, right? So
yeah, his arm is a lot like he's Yachty Jr. with some offense, and that's really amazing.
It is. I mean, it's crazy. All right, St. Louis Cardinals. If I mention to you guys 4 pitchers' names, and I wanted you from best to worst, whichever way.
Good to less good.
Good to less good.
Best to not quite as good as the best.
Let's do that. In terms of ERA, I know we're in the sabermetric world that I don't get into.
Is this kind of a trivia?
Yeah, this is for you guys.
You have the numbers.
I do have the numbers.
Mike Leake is definitely number 1, right?
So I'm gonna give you this, and I want you to tell me, of these 4 pitchers, I want you to list who has the best ERA, then the second best, third best, fourth best on the Cardinals. Are you ready? Mike Leake, you mentioned him, so I'll throw him out there. Michael Wacha, Lance Lynn, and Carlos Martinez. So 1 through 4, how would you rank the ERAs this season of those 4 pitchers? I'll give them to you again. Leake, Wacha, Carlos Martinez, and Lance Lynn.
Leake, Lynn, Wacha, Martinez. Is that the right order?
Carp, what would you go?
I'm saying Wacha 4th.
Okay, you're right there.
3rd, I'm going to say Leake?
No.
Martinez?
Yes.
What is his ERA this year?
Lance Lynn's ERA right now is the best on the team at 3.12 in terms of a starter. Second is Mike Leake at 3.14. Third, Carlos Martinez at 3.59. And Michael Walker at 3.66. That is a good rotation.
I'm really surprised, actually, because in my mind, I just kind of decided Michael Walker's just, nah.
Yeah, but he's been unbelievable.
Pretty good.
He's had about a 6 out of 8 stretch, or 6 out of maybe 7 out of 9, 8 out of 10 starts where he has been quality starts, giving you a chance to win, keeping you in games, not surrendering. I mean, one game he finally threw his first career shutout ever. But the point being with Carlos Martinez, love him. Don't get me wrong. He is the best pitcher on this Cardinals team. If you had to win a game tomorrow and all 5 were healthy and ready to go, it's a no-brainer. Carlos Martinez is going out there. He's been having this first inning issues, right? My issue with Carlos this year is that he has had to step up to be an ace. The Cardinals have always had a nice little path of aces, right? You had Chris Carpenter, and then he passed that along to Adam Wainwright, and even John Lackey for a year probably could have been the ace of that team. Now the ball has been given to Carlos. He started the first game this year, which is designated for the ace. It's time to start acting like that, right? He's had about 5 chances this year where he needed to go out and pitch like an ace, and he didn't do it for the Cardinals. Tonight is exactly the time where you need to see Carlos Martinez act like an ace. You've got the Cubs, the team you're chasing, going out to the West Coast. Yes, the Giants are horrible, but it's still a West Coast trip.
Anything can happen on the West Coast.
Anything can happen. And and I remember my dad always said, if you can go 500 on a West Coast swing,
that's all you need.
You are in the best shape of anybody in baseball because everybody else has got to make that swing. The Cardinals have to do it next month. But tonight, the Cardinals start a 4-game set with the Royals, 2 in Kansas City, 2 in St. Louis, just like the Cubs and White Sox do every year, of course, just like every team does. Tonight, Carlos Martinez is on the hill against Ian Kennedy for the Royals. Tonight is the night that I want to see Carlos Martinez, and it's against a Royals team that's hot, and it's against a Royals team that can hit the ball. I mean, they can mash. But it's time for him to go out, take the ball, and lead you to a win like an ace does. Tonight is the night for Carlos.
What do you think has led to him not being that ace quality this year?
I don't know. I know he struggled in the first inning, and they're literally working on things in the bullpen before games trying to figure out how can we do this? Do we simulate an inning? How are you warming up? How are we doing this? And then invariably he'll go out and give up 2-3 runs. He did that his last time out, and the Cardinals ended up losing that game 3-2 when they were down 3-0 early. So it's one of those where it's been a lot of that, but there's also been other things, like he faced off against Max Scherzer one Sunday night. Well, Max Scherzer, besides Clayton Kershaw, is the best pitcher in baseball, right? So I'm not expecting Carlos to go out and beat Max Scherzer, but the next thing you know, you're down 5-0, and you don't even have a chance. So it's like, all right, Carlos, I love you, and this is not a bash on Carlos. I love the kid, and I'm glad that he is signed for the next 5 years, but it is time now to act like an ace, go on the road at Kansas City, get a win, and get this 4-game set with the Royals off on the right start because you're 3.5 back. You still have a shot at this pathetic division right now because I keep waiting for your Cubs to explode. They did for a little bit, and now they just came back down to earth with a 2-4 series.
The fact that the Cardinals haven't even won 5 straight
this
season and they're still 3.5 back is an embarrassment to what the Cubs have done this year.
It really is. And it's probably a little troubling to Cubs fans to figure out why are we not running away with this division. Because you should be.
It started off with the offense. The offense is fine right now. The defense has always been great.
Yeah.
It's just the starting pitching, which they've shored up with Quintana, and then the bullpen now, which is becoming an issue. Even after adding Justin Wilson. This is all weird.
It's
such
weird.
a weird season.
It is weird. So you're going to look back on this season one day. If you're the Cardinals or the Brewers, you're going to look back and say, the Cubs gave us every chance to win that division, and we didn't take advantage of it. All right, so that's some baseball talk. I want to see it tonight. I want to come in tomorrow and talk about a Carlos Martinez dazzler.
I do, too.
In Kansas City.
Because Kansas City is a wild card team.
Oh, that's true.
And I need some space.
You do.
I mean, I don't mind if we don't talk about that tomorrow.
Well, you don't have to come on with us during that segment if we do. All right, we are heading next to the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line. High school football has begun in the area. Brett Behrens, WCI3, is going to join us next to preview what should be an exciting season here in Central Illinois. We'll do it next. It is the Tay and J Show. It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street, just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
It's all about the best beef, the best pork, and of course,
the sausages.
At the U of I Meat Sales Room. If Coach Ditka lived in CU, I'm sure he'd buy his meat from the U of I Meat Sales Room. The beef is great, the pork is great, but
the sausages
are delicious. Smoked sausage, Italian sausage, Polish sausage, and even brats. It's all fresh, locally produced, and locally grown. Visit the U of I Meat Sales Room near the corner of Lincoln and Florida in Urbana.
The sausages.
The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignUrbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Latte, Mike Carpenter. Appreciate Austin Berkland jumping in, talking a little Cubs and their pitching woes with Carl Edwards Jr. especially. Next hour, 4:05, Mike Claiborne, KMOX, Cardinal broadcast team. And at 5 o'clock, in the 5 o'clock hour, Jeremy Warner is going to join us to talk Illinois football. Also next hour, Carp, you and I are going to go over some Big Ten teams and how we think they're going to do this season in the football field.
For now, though, we're going to have the Jupiters of the Crossing phone line with our friend Brett Behrens from WCIA3. You can follow him on Twitter, and I suggest you do at WCIA3. Brett, and
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Oh, no, why?
No, I'm kidding. I do.
And actually, the exciting thing about this, and Brett, we've talked about this on Twitter, but as we get into football season, you are going to be joining us regularly on Fridays, and we've kind of been doing this, but on the new Tay and Carp show, Brett will be on every Friday afternoon to cover what we have coming up that night for high school football. So, Brett, we're excited about that, and here we are, day one of high school football season.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. A lot of coaches call it their Christmas, so to speak, the first day of practice. And while everyone loves practice, everyone loves games a lot more. And so we're just 3 weeks away from that. Can't wait for high school football games to get here, and week one is going to be here before we know it. And so excited to be on with you guys every Friday and talk some high school football because it's pretty good in this area, as we saw last year, and it has been for a long time.
Without a doubt, and there's always the same old suspects, Brett, as we go down the list a lot of times. I know there's teams that pop up and have great seasons, but for the most part, we kind of know every year who's going to be good. One of those teams is Unity. They're bringing back some offense this year. This should be a team, Brett, that goes out and scores a lot of points every week. When Stephen Miggett's your quarterback, you would assume that they're going to score. He's just a gritty player, and he kind of rubs some people the wrong way because of his aggressiveness. He talks a little bit, he's pretty confident in his abilities, and he's a senior now. He's been the quarterback. This will be his third year as starter, and he feels like they should make it to state. And I should say state is in DeKalb this year once again because of that Big Ten switch with the games running a little bit longer. And so the state finals will be in DeKalb, and the last time Unity played for state was in DeKalb 2 years ago. So, you never know. They could find themselves back there again.
Does Monticello or St. Joe or any other team in that conference have the, I guess basically just the guys to overtake what Unity has on the field this year? It just seems like it's kind of a tall task, more so than it has been in the past.
It has, but Unity has Monticello has quite a bit back, as does Unity. Of course, they lose Caleb Hansen was their quarterback, but he's one of only 3 starters that aren't back offensively. They only have 1 starter that's not back defensively. And so while Monticello made a great run last year, they played for in the semifinals, just 1 game away from state. They get quite a bit back this year. But in the newly formed Illini Prairie Conference, remember the OCAW is now history.
Right.
It's gone. And I think that rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
No doubt.
Because the OCAW has been around longer than I've been alive, and it's got a ton of history, but it's gone now. The Illini Prairie Conference is new, and so they combine the Corn Belt and the OCAW conferences to form the Illini Prairie, And talking to the coaches, a lot of them like that because I think it's going to provide a more stable conference. You're going to have maybe not quite the gap from good to bad. You're going to play BCC if you're from the OCAW, and if you're from the Corn Belt side, you're going to be facing these teams who are perennial 3A teams, Monticello, Unity, St. Joe, and so it's a little bit of a step down from the Corn Belt, but it's a step up from what the OCAW was. Now you're playing 4A schools most across the board. Pontiac has been that 4A, 5A border, and so to step up for the OCAW schools, I think we're going to find that it's going to provide more of an even schedule for them and maybe get them ready for the playoffs a little bit more. But, I think Unity is going to be right there at the Illini Prairie Conference at the top. They'll be battling out with BCC and Monticello, and St. Joe, is going to be up there again as well.
Sure.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how that Illini Prairie Conference shakes out this year.
Yeah, better competition just gets you better, right? So that will make it interesting when these teams hit the playoffs. And by the way, the OCAW is so old, it's older than me, Brett. And, I mean, that's starting to say something right now. All right, how about the Champaign schools? Let's start with Centennial and Central. What are we expecting this year out of those two schools?
Well, the Centennial practice this afternoon, they lose quite a bit. They got a quarterback competition. They've got a running back competition. They lose several offensive linemen. They were 3-6 last season. Their best prospect back is probably Jaden Roberts-Thomas. There's a name that many people know if you're from the Champaign area. But they struggled a little bit last year and did not make the playoffs, as did Central. So both Champaign schools in the Big 12, at least, did not make the playoffs. And so they're looking to get back there. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. We're not that far out from Central playing in the semifinals, just one game away from making it to state. And so they're trying to find their identity as well. I'm heading out to Central practice tomorrow, so a little bit of a bad timing there. I'll know a little bit more about them tomorrow, but I know they're both hungry to get back.
Nathan Watson had a ton of guys come out for Urbana's team last year, so they had the numbers, but it's still a work in progress. They had the playoff run a few years ago because of a great quarterback and some other really good seniors on that team, but it's been tough sledding otherwise, Brett. I mean, is there any indication that Urbana is equipped to make any turnaround this year?
Well, Nathan Watson's now at St. Thomas More.
Right.
And so
oh, wait, sorry.
All good. So he resigned from Urbana maybe November, early December of last year. And so he's now moved on to St. Thomas More after Dan Hennessy retired from there as the only head coach in Sabres history of their program. And so Watson's at St. Thomas More now, but the funny thing you say about numbers is he's really struggling there. They only have 23 kids out this year.
Wow.
Craig was at their practice today. That's freshman through senior, 23 players in their entire program. It's tough to win a lot of games when you don't have the numbers. But Ordell Walker takes over at Urbana, and so this is his first time, taking over a program. It'll be interesting to see what he can do there because Urbana was, a playoff team a couple of years there under Watson, but then really struggled to get any roots and stronghold to be a perennial postseason contender.
You know what I love about Brett Behrens? This isn't like NFL or college football where you have all these magazines you can read, all these you can get prepped up on them. These are just his memory going from last year and knowing what these teams have going forward, and you're doing a great job, Brett. I know one team that could be explosive, and Illinois fans will want to take a look at one of their players that's coming to Illinois is Danville, right? They've had some good seasons. They should be good again this year.
They should, and they have a new coach as well. Marcus Forrest takes over the Vikings program for B.J. Luke, who retired after a long run at Danville, and he's a Danville native. There's nobody that loves the Vikings program more than B.J. Luke. He's still the athletic director, but Marcus Forrest takes over there. They should be really good as well. Julian Pearl's the Illini commit there as an offensive lineman. They've got several D1 talented players on their team. Caleb Griffin is their punter, and I've seen Jeremy tweeting about him a little bit. Is he going to hopefully make his decision soon?
Okay.
But Caleb Griffin's a tremendous athlete, and he's gone to a lot of big-time punting camps, but he's more than just a punter on the high school end, obviously. So Danville is going to be really good last year. They won a playoff game to get back in the playoffs after missing it for a couple of years, and it hasn't been that long ago either that Danville was playing deep into the playoffs as well. But in the Big 12, it's always tough. I mean, Peoria won the league last year with an 8-0 record, and then went on and won the state title. And so, the Big 12 is always tough, and so it's going to be difficult for Danville to win a conference title, but I think they're up there in the talking about it at least, and so that's a good place to be.
Fair enough.
Brett, before I let you go, just looking at some other teams in the area, whether it be Muhammad, Paxton, Gibson City, Fisher, Tuscola. Yeah, I mean, and not in any particular order. You don't have to hit all of them, but is there any other team that people should keep a careful eye on that could, I don't want to say surprise, but could find themselves in contention for conference titles or maybe a deep playoff run?
I think Tuscola's got to be right there again. They won the CIC last year over St. Teresa, and they beat St. Teresa pretty badly in the regular season. I think it was week 7 last year, if I remember right, because there was so much hype around that game, and the Warriors just took it to them. And then obviously St. Teresa made it all the way to the state title game, and they finished second. An Illini target there, potentially with Jacardier Wright, who's now a junior, I do believe, for St. Teresa. But Tuscola's got to be in that conversation again after going 7-0 last year in the league to win there. And they really just haven't been able to find much success under Andy Romine in the playoffs. They bowed out early 2 years ago in his first season, and last year they did make it to the quarterfinals, I believe. Yep, they were in the quarterfinals, but just haven't been able to find a way to get past that quarterfinal round. And they are hungry as can be. They've got several returners back this year. I'd watch out for Tuscola again. GCMS won their league last year, the Heart of Illinois Small Division. So they're conference champions coming back. And, I think PBL has always been there as well. And they're kind of, I don't want to say the forgot about team sometimes, because that's not fair to say for them. But I think they have a chance in the Sangamon Valley to make some noise as well. So it'll be interesting to see. There's quite a few new coaches this year as well. So Carp, Nathan Watson's not the only one who's finding a new gig this year. The last count, I had about a dozen new coaches in the area this year. So lots of exciting times going on as coaches try and figure out their programs and what they want to do. And then you've got the old Scott Hamiltons and at Unity and some other coaches around the area that have been here a long time, and Mike Allen's at GCMS that are just going to keep things rolling like they have. So
well done.
Can't wait for football season.
No doubt.
It's kicking off today with the first practice, and the games will be here before we know it.
I have a hard time with any coaching carousel, let alone high school football in the area. So that's why we have a guy like Brett Behrens on. Brett, we cannot wait for the season to get started, but more importantly, that Fridays you're going to be joining Tay and Carp sometime the 4 o'clock hour, and we'll just cover all the games that weekend. You know your stuff, and it's always great having you on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Can't wait, and we'll see you around, all right?
All right, buddy. We'll be watching tonight. I've got it taped already. Brett Behrens, WCIA3. Follow him on Twitter, at WCIA3. Brett, it's always interesting to me because it brings back memories for me of going out when high school football practices begin and going out and essentially just attacking as many schools as you can in a day or two and just compiling as many interviews and video, everything you can to get ready for the season. And normally by week 5, week 6, we kind of know who the pretenders are and who the contenders are. And so that'll be good as we go along. I know one of those weeks, I think it's the week Illinois plays in Florida. There's some heavy matchups that week, including Unity, St. Joe, etc.
It was hard to pick a schedule this year.
Central Centennial, I think?
Yes.
Plays that weekend
I think it is that weekend, but we're loaded, and all those games are going to be on Q96 this year. We'll give you more details as we get closer.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, next hour, we're going to start it out with Mike Claiborne, KMOX. I'm going to ask him about Carlos Martinez. Is he an ace? It's the Tay and J Show.
The past several years have been tough, but out of hardship come innovation, enterprise, and confidence. Busey is committed to giving business startups an extra push. Our small business initiative supports entrepreneurs whose businesses will bring vibrancy to our communities. Micro business can have macro impact. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You know you need to do it, and you know you should do it at least twice a year. You owe it to yourself. I'm talking about a checkup at West Main Dental in Urbana. When was the last time you visited the dentist? If you can't remember, or you're in need of a new dentistry team, West Main Dental is where you should go. Our team at West Main Dental is waiting to see you. Come in and be catered by a professional staff that includes Dr. Janet Bardell, a University of Illinois and Southern Illinois University graduate. West Main Dental offers the highest level of dental care in a warm and comforting environment. From a simple quick check checkup to providing you with an at-home teeth whitening kit or orthodontic services, trust the professionals at West Main Dental. Visit West Main Dental in downtown Urbana on Main Street, online at westmaindental.com, or call 607-1292. Trust me, you won't be able to stop smiling with a set of healthy, sparkling white teeth thanks to the work of West Main Dental. West Main Dental, online at westmaindental.com, or call 607-1292 to schedule an appointment today.
Hi, I'm Dan Moyson, owner of Simplified Computers in Champaign. For over 20 years, Simplified Computers has been helping local businesses and nonprofits with their computing and networking needs. We cover everything from servers, network security, cloud-based applications, wireless accessibility, computer support. In short, whatever technical issues your business runs into, we've seen it and we can help. Call us at 352-5000. That's 352-5000. Simplified Computers. Simply the best.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm Pam Puso. Chicago is suing over the Trump administration's stance on sanctuary cities. Corporation counsel Ed Siskel says the city won't be forced
to make a choice between either sacrificing critical grant funds for public safety or agreeing to conditions that directly violate the Constitution.
Siskel going on to say the president's policies are breeding a culture and climate of fear.
A Justice Department statement says Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel should spend less time protecting, quote, criminal aliens and concern himself more with the murder rate in his city.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. North Korea is promising payback after being slapped with a new round of UN sanctions. The White House says the regime was the focus of a phone call between President Trump and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, who spoke from a security summit in the Philippines.
This is really about the spirit of these talks, and they can demonstrate they're ready to sit with a spirit of finding a way forward in these talks by no longer conducting these missile tests.
North Korea is vowing to bolster its arsenal. That has the U.S. taking action.
Hours after President Trump's phone call with his South Korean counterpart, the Pentagon says it would help put larger conventional warheads on South Korean missiles to deal with the threat from Pyongyang.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. The Pentagon also saying U.S. spy satellites have detected North Korea moving anti-ship cruise missiles to a patrol boat. Nearly 16 years after the 9/11 attacks, another victim at the World Trade Center has been identified, the man's name being withheld. Of the more than 2,700 victims, nearly 40% remain unidentified. A new all-time high on Wall Street, the Dow up 25 points. You're on the Fox Report. Fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
How does one tiny little human need all this stuff? Stroller, umbrella, buckets, shovels, blanket, changing table, jumpy gym, bouncy seat.
Okay, sweetie, can you open the back?
Sure. I'm not holding anything with my foot.
Hands-free foot-activated liftgate. Available on the 2017 Ford Escape lets you load up without putting anything down.
Wait, isn't the jumpy gym and a bouncy seat the same thing?
Totally different.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Hurry and get our hottest offer, 0% financing for 72 months on select Ford Fusion, Escape, Edge, and Explorer models. Plus, get an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends August 22nd. Best selling based on 2016 sales. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month or $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade assist cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after new retail delivery. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take new retail delivery from dealer stock by August 22nd, 2017.
In a few weeks, we'll find out how the U.S. plans to react to the upcoming expulsion of American diplomats in Russia.
It seems some folks are...
Fox's Rich Edson said the Kremlin also seized 2 diplomatic properties in Russia that belong to the U.S. in retaliation to recent U.S. sanctions. On the run in Missouri, a man suspected of killing a cop.
Police have named their suspect, 39-year-old Ian McCarthy of Clinton, Missouri, 70 miles south of Kansas City. That's where investigators say McCarthy shot and killed a local police officer who pulled him over. That officer was 37-year-old Gary Michael. Michael was able to fire shots back at McCarthy before McCarthy sped off. The officer died soon after. McCarthy crashed his Dodge Nitro just a couple blocks away and then ran off. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Some 200 homes were damaged. One was destroyed when a twister blew through Tulsa.
I was planning on doing a little bit of renovation, but now now I'll be doing a lot of renovation.
Some 30 people were hurt in that tornado incident. 2 other twisters touched down in northeast Oklahoma early on Sunday morning. Some action in the tropics as a storm takes aim at Mexico.
Outer bands beginning to run into the Yucatan Peninsula down towards Belize, all areas where they're beginning to see that heavy rainfall. We're expecting on this one, making landfall through the overnight hours. It's going to run across the Yucatan Peninsula.
That's Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz. The storm could dump 4 to 8 inches of rain. New Orleans is now drying out after torrential rains flooded parts of the city for the second time in 2 weeks. The city council has called a special meeting for tomorrow. Members say they want proof that the drainage system is working. In New York, I'm Pam Puso on Fox News Radio.
Go. Step into a Slim Jim. So.
All right.
Go.
Here is your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service.
I am not going to carry you every day.
I'm sorry.
I was just out of it. I tell Jeremy that all the time. You can do 10 shows, and one of them, invariably, you're just going to be sitting there going, man, I just don't feel it. I don't have it.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens.
You see, I think we're more like athletes than people realize, Lon. I mean, you aren't going to have
You're not going to
great
go 4
game
for
every
4.
night.
You're not even going to go 2 for 4 some games. You're going to ground down to 2 double plays, and you're going to be the GOAT.
But if the first 3 innings are over, we got 6 more to go.
Yes, that's
We're
correct.
only a third of the way into this show, and I'm feeling redemption.
Good. And although a GOAT is supposed to be really good, isn't it?
That's true.
All
But
right,
first, before redemption, weather forecast from Chief Bauer. That's 866 experts, or visit online at chiefbauer.com.
You got 10 seconds.
53 the low tonight, 81 and sunny tomorrow with the low of 58, and then Wednesday 82 and sunny with the low of 60. Right now it is currently 77 degrees, partly sunny. ESPN Radio 93.5.
That was well done.
We're back.
Not going to lie.
I've missed that whistle. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
I haven't brought that out. Well, when the Cardinals win 2 in a row, I start getting happy and I whistle. All right, it's the Tay and J Show. Lante, Mike Carpenter. I don't know if our next guest knows what's going on right now with the Tay and J Show.
I don't know if he does, actually.
And he is one of our favorites, if not the favorite. It's Mike Claiborne, KMOX. You can follow him on Twitter, @Claibs. And as always, brought to you by Pekin Insurance. Mike Claiborne, have you heard the news about the Tay and J Show?
What, Jay's pregnant?
He's not. He's actually not. However, he's leaving the show, Mike. He is going to. Yeah, and here's why. He, with his other job, his website that he runs, IlliniInquirer.com, when we do our show at this time every day is when Lovey is practicing or Brad Underwood is practicing, and it's biting into that time. Plus, he is a guy that lives about an hour north, and he just wants to spend more time with his son. He feels like he's gone for 6 to 9 hours a day. So what we're going to do, Claibs, he's going to start doing a 9 to 11 morning show following Stevie J. And Mike Carpenter, who's sitting in with me today, is going to join me. We're going to shorten our show to 2 hours from 4 to 6. So we're going to actually add another hour of local broadcasting for Central Illinois, and we're excited about that.
Well, you should be. That sounds like a pretty good lineup. Yeah, I like it.
I do, too. I do. It's going to stink for Jeremy and I, of course, and Carp knows this because we have worked
you guys
together.
will find a way to reunite.
Yeah.
That's not an issue. You'll be fine.
I think that'll be fun. We'll do some shows together just out of nowhere, out of the blue. I think that would be a fun thing to do. Well, Mike Claiborne, you're a busy man. Cardinals in Kansas City tonight. But here we are. We sit on August 7th, and the Cardinals are 3.5 games out of first. What a strange season, Mike.
That's an understatement. The last time we talked, I was a little frustrated, but I accepted the fact that we were who we were.
Right.
It was 500 team. And, if we win tonight, we actually get to 500. But, it's really an odd season. Tommy Pham said it best. We don't have power. We don't have speed. We're not dynamic. Other than that, we're a pretty good ball club.
Right.
So, I don't know whether you heard the news today that Stephen Piscotty was sent out.
Yes.
And, I don't have a problem with that, and here's why. Stephen Piscotty hit over 300 in April and May of last year. He's not hit over 250 since then in any month. So I know some people say, well, he had the family issue. No, this goes back well before that. So we'll see what happens. But here's the other thing. There wasn't a place for him to play.
No.
I mean, you got Martinez is playing well. We've already talked about Pham enough. Fowler's back. And Grichuk, they keep thinking he's going to run into one. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. And it just wasn't enough playing time right now. But you know what? I just tell everybody, just stay ready, man. This game has a way of weeding out the situations that need to be taken care of.
Mike, it was an interesting weekend when you look at the Cardinals' offense because dating back to the final game in Milwaukee and then the first two games in Cincinnati, and they won that game on Saturday, but just that offense can be really stagnant sometimes. And then you have a game like yesterday, which any offense can have. But was there anything that we could take from yesterday's offensive outburst and say, there's signs of life that they could do a 5-run, 6-run kind of thing a little more consistently than what they have been doing?
Normally I would say but you have to remember it was Cincinnati, okay?
Right.
One of the worst pitching staffs in baseball.
Good point.
And I think you have to be cautious when, you try and build some momentum. But in that situation, I'm just not sure if there's enough of a sample to say, all right, we're going to turn the corner now. Because you know what? It's not a Homer Bailey. We won't see another Homer Bailey for a while.
Right.
We won't see a Cincinnati bullpen for a while. Although the schedule gets a little easier, but not that much. So I'm not going to put a lot of stock into what I saw, only because I've seen that before. And I'll give you a good example. We went into Miami and Atlanta and just broke up all their furniture, 6-game winning streak, and then just messed all over ourselves after that. So I just think it's one of those situations that you just got to take it for what it's worth. This is a team that just has to play one game at a time, and I sincerely mean that.
Sure.
They cannot look ahead to anything or anyone.
Mike, I want to ask you a general baseball question. You brought up Homer Bailey, 2 no-hitters to his name.
Does he really?
I think so. At least 1 or maybe 2, Micah. And yet, and you can look at his stats, and it's just this weird kind of bell curve. We're in the middle of his career, pretty good, and he is awful. How can you
be that good one day?
Is that just the nature of pitching, Mike? Where one season you have it, and then the next few you don't.
I think one of the big misnomers is when a guy has no hitters, that means he had good stuff that night. The problem is you catch a team at the right time, you get off early, you got a certain pitch working for you, your fastball's working where you can back up the other pitches with it. You just have that night. But, this game is about consistency. And you talk to any pitcher, you get 32 starts, 33 starts, you may only feel good for 8 or 9 of them. And the rest of them, you're just scuffling. And I think that a lot of guys don't know how to pitch through that, along with knowing how to pitch out of trouble. Remember, a lot of these guys, I'll give you a good example. We had a guy recently that had never gone beyond 7 innings in his entire career.
Wow.
Carlos Martinez had a shutout this year. It's the first time he'd ever gone 9 innings. So a lot of guys today don't know how to pitch out of trouble because they take them out of the game so quickly. Now it's about getting through the order at least twice. You have some managers that say, give me 21 outs. Bud Black, that's his philosophy in Colorado. Give me 21 outs, and we can go from there. So, there's a lot of different approaches to the game now, but I think no-hitters are very misleading with regard to assessing a guy's skill set. I'll give another example. Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a no-hitter. He threw 144 pitches and walked 8 guys.
And he's on a staff again this year.
Yeah, but one of the reasons why? Because, he's a professional, man. This guy has taken care of so many young players in their careers.
That's cool.
He knows his role to eat up innings. He's going to give you what he's got. He's not going to be a problem in the clubhouse. There's always going to be a job for a guy like Edwin Jackson. Don't let his numbers fool you. The intangibles he brings to a ball club are ever so important.
And Mike, I want to have a beer in his basement one day and look at all the framed jerseys of every team he's played. That would be the coolest thing, right?
I agree. He may have more than they have at Cooperstown.
Right.
And just a side note here, Jay Cutler gets a 1-year, $10 million deal, and people are freaking out about that. But Mike, get this. So this year, Homer Bailey is making $19 million.
Wow.
Only to make 21, 23, and 25 over the next 3 seasons.
Wow.
So I think Jay Cutler's a deal relative to this.
Well, the Cutler thing, no matter how you stand on Colin Kaepernick, there's no excuse for him not being in the game. Because Jay Cutler was a miserable player.
Mm-hmm.
He was a miserable teammate. And he already admitted he's not in shape. He said, well, as a quarterback, you don't have to really be in shape cardiovascular-wise.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's great. That's good news to hear that we got a guy that's already ready to mail it in because he's got the $10 million check.
Exactly. Hey, I don't blame him. What the heck, right?
Yeah, he looked very disinterested
This
today.
is a guy that nobody in the league wanted.
No, you're right.
And Miami goes out and signs him to $10 million, and they're not going to be very good.
I should have been an athlete.
It's a good gig.
I think, you know what, Lon, you found your niche.
Yeah, right.
You do a great job in insurance.
Right.
You got a great radio show. Let's just call off the jam and you got a wonderful wife and family. So I think you've lucked out, my friend.
I agree. I think, and you didn't even see me play athletics. So I think you could agree with that.
Well, there's a rumor going around about it, and I'll just go with that. That's good enough to let me know that you are very fortunate.
There you go. I agree with you 100%. Mike Claiborne, our guest, KMOX Cardinal baseball team. Follow him on Twitter at Claibs, CLAIBS. Dexter Fowler's back. What does that mean for this team down the stretch? A guy that helped lead the Cubbies to a World Series last year. Can he be kind of the key to the ignition, if you will, to try to kickstart this offense?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's what they're hoping for. I think the book on him is he's a great guy or a good guy on a great team. I think if the team's not very good, he probably falls prey to being not necessarily a problem, but a guy who's not engaged because he's not having a good season.
Right.
If he can get hot like he did last year, he can make this very interesting. Because the Cardinals give up something in center field with him out there, because I think we've all figured out that Pham's the best center fielder on the team.
Without a doubt.
But with that said, you want to keep Dexter in the lineup. You want to see if he can get his back going a little bit, and we'll just see where that takes him. But right now, I think he is a very important player to this ball club with regard to the stretch, and whatever he can contribute in the clubhouse and on the field is going to sorely be needed.
Mike, bear with me on this one, but this is the general question, and then I'm going to kind of explain it. Is Carlos Martinez an ace? And I say that because I'm excited to have Carlos Martinez. If all 5 were rested and they had to win a game tomorrow or tonight, I'm going with Carlos Martinez. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that they're going to do that. But it seems like this year there have been moments where he's been put in an ace role, if you will, and he really hasn't come through. Tonight is another one. And I went on about a 15-minute stretch early in the show about tonight is when I want to see Carlos Martinez take the hill and hold the Royals to 1 or 2 runs and get a win tonight. Is that the next step?
Let me just say this. Only his hairdresser knows for sure. When he's got his hair with its normal color,
right.
He is an ace.
Yes.
When he goes with the gray and the blue and the pastel and all of that, then he just becomes as we like to call him, a jag, just a guy.
Just a guy.
I walked by him in the clubhouse a little while ago, and I'm sorry to report that his hair is like a bluish gray.
Oh, no.
So I'm not sure what that means. But, yeah, he's got the tools. He's got the stuff. There's no doubt about that. And he's a guy that if he gets out of the first or second inning unscathed, he has no hit skill. There's no doubt about it. But, he's pressing a little bit. I don't know if he's hurt. Some of these guys don't like to disclose what's going on. So we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, I agree with you, Lon. This is a huge game tonight, man.
Yes.
You're knocking on the door of 500, and you got your best guy going.
Boom.
So we'll see.
I want to end this, and this is because out of respect for you, Mike, and the fact that you've gotten to know all these guys and you're in that clubhouse, I don't want to make it a big deal, and we hardly talked about it, Jeremy and I, or even Carp, but the whole Yachty thing on the social media, the Instagram, the picture of a kendo, the shot kind of at Matheny. What did you make of that? And
let me back you up on that,
okay,
because that's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up. This whole thing was created by irresponsible newspaper intern.
Got it.
A guy who covered the team, was in the media scrum, wrote that Mike Matheny said that Yachty was tired. He never said it.
Oh, wow.
He never said it.
Wow.
And he wrote it, and so Yachty reads it, and says, wait a minute, I'm not tired. So anyway, this guy who wouldn't own up to it, by the way, and he used that line, I stand by my story. Well, there was too many people that heard it, and they knew Mike never said it. Now, you don't hear that around. I'm sure you don't hear that in your neck of the woods. You don't hear it enough in St. Louis. But this intern cost this team a very serious relationship by his irresponsibility and lack of experience. That is interesting. I did not know that part of the story, Mike. That is interesting. Wow. Yeah, well, the reason why you don't hear it is because, media brethren have a tendency to stick together. Right. And I don't necessarily agree with that all the time. We can disagree, and that's cool. I respect you if we disagree. Sure. But don't sit here and take the side of a guy who was dead wrong, who never acknowledged it, who never went to either player or manager to apologize for the one word that he assumed Mike Matheny was saying. Holy cow. Well, Mike, I'm glad you brought that out. That is very interesting. I had not heard that. Mike Claiborne, he's our man, KMOX. All right, I can't let you go without talking about Lovey. Illinois just picked up a 4-star defensive lineman out of Texas, Calvin Avery. That puts him up to about 36 now in the country in the class. He's starting to put them together, Mike. I'm hoping Illinois is in for some good times here in the next 3-4 years. I think they are. I've known Lovey for a long time, and I told you how excited I was when he went to Illinois, and he just reeks class. He's very controlled. I mean, he was down. We had a good visit with him when he came down to a game a couple of months ago, and he said, we're getting there. And I think if Illinois fans will be patient, he's going to put a product on the field of three things. They're going to compete, they're going to respect the program, and they're going to continue. They're going to start a run where this won't be like a 3-year run where after you lose a guy, then what do we do next? Good call. He's going to continue to bring in good quality people. And I think that's what college football needs more than anything right now, because Lovey don't play. Okay? No, he doesn't. Yeah, I'm going to just tell you that now. So, I think he's going to bring in kids that are going to be that folks in Champaign and throughout the state will be happy with in how they conduct themselves on and off the field. I mean, I can go out and get a bunch of guys that can create a ruckus and can be All-Americans, but I think it's more to that today, where these kids are setting examples for a lot of other young people, and if they do it the Illinois way or the Lovey way, I think that's going to bode well for the future when parents start to look at programs and suggest to their kids it's not a bad place to go play football. Well said. Mike Claiborne. Hey, my condolences on Don Baylor as well. I know you were friends with Don. You know what? That was tough, and I talked to Groove about 3 weeks ago. And I knew he wasn't doing well, and I just can't explain to you how much of a professional and a good person he was in so many regards. He was the first African-American to play high school football in the state of Texas. Wow. At all public school. He would have been the first African-American football player to play for Darrell Royal at Texas, but he decided to play baseball. So, I mean, this guy was an incredible athlete. He was an incredible teacher, a maker of men. And I think Jim Palmer had a great line today. He said he was one of the nicest guys in the world unless you were a middle infielder on a double play ball. Because Groove got hit 267 times. Ooh. So somebody was going to pay for it down the road. But a wonderful man. We're going to miss him. And he was so good to me, and Mike Shannon and I talked about it for about an hour this morning. Cool. About what a good person he was, and Dexter Fowler was very close to him. When Dexter broke in, he was a hitting coach in Colorado, and he took Dex everywhere on the road. He took him to every restaurant. He introduced him to everybody. He taught him how to be a pro, how to carry himself, how to dress, how to eat, how to drink, and all the other things that it takes to be a quality professional. And I think it shows how Dexter conducts himself today. And I talked to Dexter a little while ago. He's really shook up by it. So he might turn something out tonight and dedicate it to Groove. I was going to say, expect a big, big night out of Dexter Fowler. Mike Claiborne, KMOX, Cardinal broadcast team. You'll hear him tonight. Follow him on Twitter, @Claibs. As always, brought to you by Pekin Insurance. Mike, always appreciate the time. We'll do it again soon. Looking forward to it. Congratulations on all the moves. That Stevie J, boy, that guy's got a hat that he just continues to pull rabbits. He does, doesn't he? He does. It's great. You guys have a great setup there, and the new change is going to be good for everybody. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. And congratulations to Jeremy on the pregnancy as well, and hopefully that turns out okay for him.
Mike, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, man. Take care.
I'll see you. All right, that rumor, that's just a rumor. Jeremy Werner himself, not pregnant, nor is Tiffany, I don't think.
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay, so that's Claves joking around. You know how Claves is. Hey, and by the way, that's always brought to you by Pekin Insurance. Find an agent near you at PekinInsurance.com. Auto, home, commercial, life. They do it all. Give them a call. PekinInsurance.com.
Rhymes.
Yeah, right. That kind of did.
Hey, I got a list for later.
Uh-oh.
So you get to Baseball Reference, and on the top left they have pictures of 10...
Oh, you said later.
Oh, well.
You said later. You said later. No, okay, we'll do it later.
We'll tease it. We can do it next segment if you want to.
Well, next segment's our Big Ten teams, though.
Oh.
You want to do the list real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
We kind of teased it there.
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right, let's get the kids in the other room to get ready here.
He's got a list. Jeremy has got a list. He's got a list. Jeremy has got a list. 'Cause we love to go through lists just to mess with the lawn.
All right, Lon. Kitty Scat?
Yep. If I was going to replace my truck with a new car, I would buy a Jeep and roll the windows down or whatever you do, the tarp, and roll around, and that's bad. Dang it! What's happened to my, what do you call it, scat?
So, I mean, the first one was so good.
What's happened to me?
It's hard. It's hard to repeat. It's hard to conjure that magic that you had with the peanut butter jelly.
I should have just absolutely quit or done the same one every time.
That's fine. Or just start with peanut butter jelly and then go from there. Because rhythmically, that gets you going.
Peanut butter jelly, nacho chips.
Ooh. The nacho cheesier chips, is that the flavor?
I was mad at Doritos when they came out with a cheesier. It's cheesy enough.
I think it was just a name, right? Was it any cheesier?
Oh, no. I think they actually started making chips that were cheesier.
Okay, so it was not just a clever name.
I don't need any more cheesy for my cholesterol, Doritos, and I like it just the way it is.
So I found on Baseball Reference, the top left will put pictures of 10 former or current Major League players.
Okay.
Completely randomly.
Oh.
And a name that I saw, Juan Pierre.
Yes.
And I got to thinking, okay, I wonder where...
and Luis Castillo
formed
an unbelievable 1-2
down in Florida
punch
for a long time.
Absolutely.
So I was thinking, all right, well, I wonder where he's at on the all-time stolen bases list.
Wow.
And it turns out he's number 18.
Juan Pierre.
At 614 for his career, Juan Pierre is 18th on the all-time list for stolen bases.
Interesting.
So then I got to thinking, okay, we know home run top 10.
Yeah.
Or most of them.
Right.
Pitching wins. You know, the game started. We did a pretty good job on that. But how about top 10 stolen base leaders?
Okay, we're going to bring in the boys there. I mean, you know Ricky Henderson, you know Lou Brock, right?
That's 1 and 2.
Okay, so...
and Ricky Henderson, 1,406 stolen bases. Lou Brock second with 938.
Wow.
That's how much of a difference there is.
Tim Raines?
Tim Raines is number 5.
How about Maury Wills?
Maury Wills, I did see that on here. He's number 20.
Oh, okay. So
at 586.
Vince Coleman. Vince Coleman first, yes. He's 6th at 752. Ichiro Austin is number 36 at 508. Wow. Who are some other fast dudes? Billy Hamilton, he hasn't played. No, he doesn't get on enough. I wonder where's he sit on that list?
Okay, so there was, oddly enough, a Billy Hamilton in the top 10.
That's what I'm talking about. The guy that played for the Rangers and the...
Oh, well, there's
I'm kidding. I was talking about the Reds guy, but I'll take credit for that
Number 3 all-time is Billy Hamilton, born on February 15th, 1866.
Boom!
He played for the Kansas City
Monarchs.
Cowboys.
Well, yeah, I remember that.
And then the Phillies from 1890 to 1901. He had 914 stolen bases.
Every Saturday on This Week in Baseball, Billy Hamilton. No, Pee Wee Reese is what...
Not in the top 25.
Okay. Who are we forgetting here? Who are we missing?
Okay, so you got Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, old Billy Hamilton.
Okay.
Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb's number 4.
Nice.
So now you guys have the top 6. Henderson, Brock, Hamilton, Cobb, Raines, and Coleman.
Jackie Robinson.
Oh, good.
No, he's not.
Enos Country Boy Slaughter.
Enos Slaughter is not.
I mean, he went from first to home on a base hit.
I'm going to be honest. These next 4 names are very obscure, but I think you could get number 10 because this guy had the most valuable baseball card ever.
Hannes Wagner.
Number 10. at 723.
Wow.
And then an honorable mention at number 11 is Joe Morgan at 689.
Oh, okay. All right, who are the other guys?
Okay, 7 is Arlie Latham.
No.
8 is Eddie Collins.
Yeah, Eddie Collins, I think, played with the White Sox, right? He's a Hall of Famer.
He played for the Philadelphia Athletics and the White Sox.
Okay.
There you go. Way back in the day.
Way back. Not quite Billy Hamilton back in the day, but back in the day.
And then Max Carey?
No.
Okay.
No, that was Harry's.
Some other names,
great uncle.
Willie Wilson.
Willie Wilson played with the Royals.
Tom Brown.
Okay.
Bert Campaneris.
Wow. That's cool. I don't think I've ever looked at a stolen base list.
Kenny Lofton, number 15.
Is he really?
That guy was really, really good.
And that all started with a Juan Pierre.
Juan Pierre, I just saw a picture of him and thought, okay, I wonder who the top 10 stolen bases are. And Juan Pierre, again, he's number 18.
Okay.
And he finished with a 290 care's average.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player.
Great leadoff guy. I don't think, if I look at his on-base percentage.
He and Castillo, I'm telling you what, there's a reason that team won Jeff Conine was really good for that team. Obviously, you had, who was the stud pitcher for that Florida team that year? Josh Beckett, good call.
Dontrell Willis.
Oh, yes.
But you know what's weird is when they won the World Series, Dontrell was already on the downswing.
Yeah.
He had that phenomenal, I think it was 2002.
Man, he could throw heat.
And he still started, Austin, he made a start or two against the Cubs in that NLCS. But was he good, Dontrell, then, or was he bad?
I mean, everybody was good against the Cubs that series, it seemed like. There was nobody bad.
Even
Buck Rodriguez had his Hall of Fame resume just in that series.
Even Bartman was really good in that series.
Hey, you got a ring.
No doubt. Alex Gonzalez right through the wickets, right?
Yeah, he ought to pay Theo for that ring.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Good stuff there, though. All right, Austin's going to join us next segment, right? We're going to go through the Big Ten teams over-under.
Yeah, so Vegas always sets over-unders for wins.
Okay.
And Austin compiled those. And what we're going to do first for each of these Big Ten teams is say whether we're going to predict what the over-under is.
Oh, wow.
So if he says Iowa, I might say 7.5.
Okay.
And you'll guess. He'll let us know what that over-under is, and then we'll react and say, okay, are they going to be over or under that total?
I like this a lot. We'll do that when we return. 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
From buyers and sellers inspections before the sale, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. We also provide radon testing with results back in 48 hours. From Champaign to Savoy and Gifford to Gibson City, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Duracon from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
I think if we thought that there was going to be a quarterback that might come out of the broadcast booth this year, maybe we thought it would be Tony Romo.
Right.
Going back to Dallas, that's not the case.
By the way,
we're going to Miami.
Did you see the shed he was practicing in? And you were out of the country, so you probably didn't.
But I've seen some stuff.
The Hall of Fame game?
Yeah.
He was practicing. They were doing a practice. They were like in some shed, like 70 yards away from the field. Chris Collinsworth was joking. It's like, I don't even know how he sees the field from there. You look in there, and there was like plywood in there. They set like a tube up in there that sometimes we'll have under our seat for air conditioning to go into the building. It was very makeshift for his practice there. But you're right. He was the one we thought if there was a major injury, maybe depending on the team, would he be talked out of retirement? But it was Jay Cutler and an 8-figure salary.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Jim. I can't take your call right now. I'm digging for oil in my basement to help pay for my family's mobile bill. A little crazy, you say? You try getting a data plan that has enough gigs for my family. And I thought braces were expensive. We definitely need a switch.
Stuck in a dysfunctional family plan? Switch to Boost Best Family Plan right now and get 4 lines for just $25 per line, each with unlimited gigs. With Metro PCS, you only get 2 gigs per line for the same price. Plus, switch today and get up to 4 free phones, all on the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Offer ends 9/10/17. Requires one line to port in. Lines include unlimited data, talk, and text. Video streams optimized at up to 480p plus resolution. Music up to 500 kilobits per second and cloud gaming up to 2 megabits per second. Data deprioritization applies during congestion. Comparison based on Metro PCS's 2 GB promo plan as of 4/25/17. For additional details, visit their website. Free phones while supplies last. Requires port in and activation on $100 plan. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
Flooring Surfaces Factory Outlet is the premier source for discount flooring in Central Illinois. Dozens of Mill Direct carpet rolls are in stock now. You can take home a new carpet today or use our professional installation service and we'll measure for free. And check out the Deal Zone, where porcelain tile is just 49 cents. Hardwood, laminate carpet, or vinyl, you'll find great discounts at Flooring Surfaces Factory Outlet, 1703 North Dunlap in Savoy.
Flooring Surfaces, the world at your feet.
Summer is here and there's no better way to swing into the season than at Willow Pond Golf Course, the most improved golf course in Central Illinois. Golf for $30 Monday through Friday with a cart, $20 after 3 p.m. Golf Saturday and Sunday with a cart for just $35 and $25 after 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Seniors golf Monday through Friday with a cart for just $20. Not a golfer? The 19th Hole Bar and Grill serves up great food and drink specials, live video gaming, and the Full Swing Golf Simulator. Call and schedule a tee time today at 893-9000 or willowpondgolf.com.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone wants the original, the authentic. And with a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the iconic luxury, unparalleled safety, and performance of Mercedes-Benz at a price you can afford. But just remember, only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. And only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer offers an unlimited mileage warranty, so you can drive with confidence as far as you'd like for up to 5 years. There are pre-owned vehicles, and then there are Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through August 31st and receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 4:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm Agent John.
I didn't have
Haywood.
my mic on with that.
Yeah, we didn't. No mics were on. We were a bit late on the trigger.
At the start of Steve Miller Band, Jungle Love. It's a. I'll pull it up while Austin.
Okay.
Good call.
We start with the Illini. Lovie Smith secured a second commitment from Bishop Dunn High School in Dallas, Texas. First was offensive lineman Kevian Myers. Then on Friday evening, it was 4-star defensive lineman Calvin Avery.
Yes!
The 6'2 Texan chose Illinois over Colorado, Oklahoma, TCU, and USC. This is Illinois' 12th commit of the class, and here is where the state breakdown is for the Illini. 6 from Florida, 4 from Illinois, and 2 from Texas. The Illini have some new competition for Taylor Horton Tucker, and it is an offer from one Bill Self in Kansas. Get away, Bill. The Cubs fell to the Nationals twice over the weekend. In Sunday's 9-4 loss, Carl Edwards Jr. gave up a grand slam to Matt Wieters in the 8th inning. The Cubs traveled to San Fran for a series against the Giants. Here's the pitching matchups for the series.
That grand slam, by the way, was so good, I watched it like 3 times.
Funny, I watched Ishikawa's home run a lot, too.
Wow, you're going deep there.
Yeah.
Man, I was off Michael Walker, too. All right, go ahead.
All right. The pitching matchups tonight, it's Arrieta versus Moore. Tuesday, it's Quintana versus Block. And Wednesday, it's Henricks versus Bumgarner. You can hear tonight's game at 9:15 p.m. on US 105.9. The Cards took 2 of 3 against the Reds this weekend in a game Sunday. The Cardinals drubbed the Reds 13-4. Jose Martinez went deep for his 8th home run. Dexter Fowler has been activated by the Cardinals from the DL. Steven Piscotty has been assigned to AAA Memphis.
Ground ball, double play ball to Alex Gonzalez. Oh, he boots it!
And the Dolphins signed Jay Cutler.
Oh, yes! Oh, man. That's good stuff right there.
So were you actually doing the whistle?
Winwood?
Steve Miller Band.
I'm kidding.
When you whistle like that, though, was it a direct reference to Jungle Love?
No, but I have done that before and thought of Jungle Love. Can we hear this for a minute?
Yeah. It's a good little jam.
It's a great road trip song.
Yes. Yeah, good call, Austin. Yeah.
He scores.
Take off, heading to Florida. Let's get through the chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's good stuff.
One of the earliest concerts I saw was Steve Miller Band.
Really?
Yeah, the Assembly Hall. My dad and I went.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Good show.
I bet that would be a good show. Are they?
I think they're still around. I mean,
know.
He's a very unassuming guy.
Okay.
He walks out. He just looks like a dude.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you hear Steve Miller Band, and then someone said, well, what does Steve Miller look like? How many people would be able to respond?
I wouldn't.
All I think is the horse on the
exactly.
album cover.
Most
that's right.
He had that cool horse logo on most of them, and he didn't really do a lot of promo shots or anything. So it was weird. He just walked out, and it's like, I guess that's Steve Miller.
Must be Steve Miller. Did you hear who was headlining one of the state fair shows?
No.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
No kidding.
I think.
Wow.
Is that right? John Cougar Mellencamp? I think that's right.
So
big Indiana Hoosier fan.
The state fair operates on its own budget, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
Austin, you would know that more. Did you go there for FFA and stuff?
Yeah, I went there. I know the fair operates for like the junior show and the FFA show, not the FFA, the 4-H show. They operate under our state's budget.
Okay.
But then the open show and then the entertainment, that's not taxpayer dollars. It's a separate fund.
Okay. I don't know that I've ever been to the state fair.
It's a fantastic time.
I grew up in a family that didn't believe in letting my brother. No, I'm totally kidding. Because Mom is probably listening right now. And I'm sure we did go when we were younger. I just don't remember it. All I know about the state fair now is right outside the entrance, I think, is a bar called Franny's. And we play fast pitch softball against Franny's. So if you're over there and you need a cold one, run into Franny's, say hi to the boys. That's all I got.
All right.
On the state fair. Did you find out? Is it John Cougar?
It is John. Well, it's just John Mellencamp. He's
lost the Cougar.
His evolution was John. He lost the Cougar somewhere down the line. John Cougar was his first name.
Oh,
because they thought Mellencamp, they could market that.
Yeah, right.
Do you remember the song "I Need a Lover"? Pat Benatar did it, but John Cougar was his first hit.
Okay,
and then he was John Cougar Mellencamp, and that was like small town.
Yes,
I was born in a small town.
Yeah. Right.
And then by the time he would
that
was John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh, okay.
And then he was John Mellencamp, I think, when Pink Houses would have came out, and he's been that ever since.
That's too confusing to me.
So here are some other bands. Foghat, that'd be cool.
Foghat. Can I tell my Foghat story real quick?
It's a free show also.
Foghat's a free show?
On Thursday.
So
Can we go do our show ahead of Foghat?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
And I know one song. Can you pull it up?
Oh, yeah. Slow Ride, I'm guessing.
Slow Ride.
Yeah.
So Lance and my brother and I are in St. Louis. I pick him up. He flew in for Thanksgiving. I don't know why in the world he flew to St. Louis. I think we were going to stay down there and do something. And we had nothing to do this random Wednesday night in St. Louis. And at our hotel is a Foghat bus. And we go in to check in, and I'm like, is Foghat here? They're like, yeah, they're playing across the way at Mississippi Nights or whatever the place was called. So Lance and I went over to listen to Foghat. Are you playing the song right now?
Mm-hmm.
We went over to listen to Foghat, and all I kept waiting for all night was this. And as soon as it began, I was like, Slow Ride, yes! And I was just that idiot in the back of the room like, this is the only song I know! Slow Ride. awesome.
It's a classic. Good band.
They played it like 6 times that night, and not one of us in that room minded. Because I didn't know any other song.
So a Foghat and Nico and Vince concert would be a similar experience for you?
I'd be sitting there just waiting for Am I Wrong? Can you pull that one up real quick?
Am I Wrong by Nico and Vince?
Before we go to break, and then we're going to do our Big Ten thing next segment because we've run out of time. But yes, Austin, if I went, where would Nico and Vince play? Would they be like Urbana Sweet Corn?
That'd be like a Tinley Park opening act type deal.
So I'd be sitting there the whole time going, man, play it. And then all of a sudden, be like, oh, here it is! Yes! A year later, I caught on to Am I Wrong? Oh, that's good stuff, isn't it?
You know who else is going to be the State Farm this year?
Who's that?
Herman's Hermits.
Wait, at the State Farm or the State Fair?
Oh, wait, State Fair.
State Fair?
Yeah.
Herman's Hermits. I don't know them.
You've never heard Henry VIII? I'm going to pull that up real quick.
Oh, man.
No offense to Nico and Vince, but
I just needed another 10 seconds of Nico and Vince.
I'm sure you've heard this. This is a classic right here.
I'm Henry VIII, I am.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
They're going to be at the State Fair.
Yeah, man. Peter Noon.
I don't think I've ever heard this. And Harry's in there singing it word for word.
Yeah.
Is this a young song? Sounds like it's a guy that played back in the 60s.
Yeah, it's like the British Invasion. After the Beatles came Herman's Hermits and Gary something in the Playmakers.
Never heard it.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to take us to break. How about that?
Okay.
When we come back, Big Ten teams over under. It's the Tay and J Show.
Been married 7 times before, and everyone was an Henry. She wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. No, Sam. I'm a 8th old man, I'm Henry. Henry the 8th I am.
Looking to renovate your kitchen or bathroom? For over 30 years, Kitchen Bath and Cabinet Company has been Champaign-Urbana's #1 showroom for all your kitchen and bath needs. From design to installation, Kitchen Bath and Cabinet Company combines years of industry experience with excellent customer service. Check out their solid surface quartz and granite countertops, plus a wide range of fixtures and cabinetry. Call Kitchen Bath and Cabinet Company at 352-1900 or visit online at kitchenbathandcabinetco.com.
Hey, what are you doing on August 25th and 26th?
I don't know. Why?
Well, I'm on the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival website, and I saw some awesome volunteer opportunities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can volunteer at their corn eating contest, cornhole games, beer tent.
Oh, let me see. These opportunities look awesome. Click on that. What's the entertainment for this year?
The main stage lineup covers an array of classic rock, rhythm and blues, and jazz by some awesome local bands.
Wait, Candy Foster's playing? And Love Sign, ESP, Andy Moe, King's Highway, The Boat Drunks, Tons of Fun Band, and a performance for Elnora, the Guitar Festival at Craner?
And there's even more stages. The One Community Together, Folk and Roots, and wow, the downtown bars have live music too.
That's 2 days of music we cannot miss.
Oh, look, we can bring the kids too. There's a puzzle hunt by CU Adventures, didgeridoo making, inflatables, and the Motor Buster Car Show.
You can take the kids, but I'm all over that $6 souvenir cup that can be filled at any downtown bar or festival beer stand.
Well, since it's a 2-day festival, I'm sure we can do it all.
Sponsored in part by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
Napa know-how.
The Napa Legend battery does legendary things, like starting your car when the heat index hits $1.25, or making sure your AC stays running like a gazelle. And now, when you buy a Napa Legend battery, you'll get a prepaid Visa card by mail worth $15. $15 back and a new battery? That's not just legendary. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/17.
Lots of things take 15 minutes, like sitting through a halftime show or running a very slow mile. Well, Buffalo Wild Wings wants to add one more to the list, the B-Dubs Fast Break Lunch. Order from this menu and you'll get your lunch in 15 minutes or it's free. So put in your order, count all the tiles on our ceiling, and voila, 15 minutes and your food has arrived. Or it's on us. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Valid for tables of 6 or less Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at participating locations for dine-in only. Other restrictions apply. See participating location for details.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Oh, absolutely, Austin.
Such an educated question.
Yeah, it was a wonderful question, and the answer is yes.
It's like a shower thoughts question.
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind that that's happened. Mm-hmm. And we can't go on with that. So It's the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay, Mike Carpenter, Austin Berkland, Harry Blacken's in the other room. Is David here, or did he just take off?
He's here.
Oh, okay. I can't ever see him. He's behind this wall, so I didn't know if he just left. He just decided to go. All right. So Carp and I actually did some work this morning. We were emailing each other with Austin involved. Mm-hmm. Got up a little late today, Austin.
No.
Oh, okay. Just got to the email late. No, I'm kidding. I sent the email out, and about 2 hours later, hey, Austin's here.
Party a little hard last night, Austin?
No, he was in class, I bet. Were you in class?
No.
Oh, you were.
I was.
I mean, don't you milk cows at like 5 a.m. or something?
No.
You don't have a dairy farm.
No dairy operation.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought maybe you'd be up early doing that. All right. So we thought of a game where we were going to go through the over-unders of all the Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
So we got to get to it or we're running out of time.
Now, is it all the Big Ten teams or all of Illinois' opponents?
I did all the Big Ten teams.
Okay, cool.
I misread the email.
Honestly, the more I think about it, I think this is the way to go.
Okay.
I'm doing a little football.
We'll start out with the Michigan Wolverines. Key returning starter, defensive lineman Rashawn Gary. Jim Harbaugh's Michigan record, 20-6 overall.
Wow.
And all the over-unders, I'm guessing, are 0.5.
Some are, some aren't.
Oh, and they've got this not new quarterback. They got their quarterback back, but they're not even sure if he's. I'm going to go over-under 8.5, Carp.
I'm going to say 9.5.
Ding, ding, ding. Lon, you're the winner there.
Wow. 8-4 would be an awful year for Michigan. I got to go over.
I'm with you on this. I'm going over, Carp.
Okay, let's go with Iowa. Their key returning starters, linebacker Joey Jewell. Kirk Ferentz, Iowa record 135-92.
You can go first.
I'm going to say over under 6.5.
I'll go 7.5.
You guys are right in between. It's Iowa 7 wins.
Wow, Harry was right on it. He said 7.
All right,
I'm going over there.
I'm going over based on being in the West.
All right,
right.
Michigan State key returning starter, defensive tackle Raekwon Williams, Mike D'Antonio, MSU record 90-42.
Over under 6.5.
I was going to go 6.
5, actually.
Wow.
I think I'd go over on Michigan State.
You better hope so if you're a Michigan State fan. I would say over too.
Yeah, I'm going to go over there.
All right. Wisconsin key starter coming back, quarterback Alex Hornibrook.
Somebody we don't even know.
Paul Chryst, head coaching record is 21-6.
Hornibrook's the lefty, right? He's left-handed.
I'm not sure.
He throws like, who was the lefty for the Detroit Lions forever? Scott Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
He reminds you of Scott Mitchell. He's pretty good, actually. I'm going to go over under Wisconsin 8.5.
I'm going to go 9.5.
10.5.
Whoa! I didn't know it'd be. I'm going under there. I should have gone 9 or 9.5, but I'm
going under, but they're probably going to get 10 wins.
Yeah, but 10.5.
And I think they finally get some scheduling breaks this year, which last year they did not.
I'm going under there. We need to write these down and act like we put $100 on each one of them. See how much.
By the
money
way, I
we
won
$100
playing poker on Friday.
You did?
I won a crisp $100 bill.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
You playing in between?
In between?
The game in between, or are you playing guts, or just playing straight poker?
Straight poker.
Wow.
Texas Hold'em.
Man, $100.
Yeah, man.
All right, go ahead, Austin.
All right, Minnesota key starter, returning linebacker Jonathan Chastain. PJ Fleck, mini record. He is brand new there.
I'm going to go 6.5.
5.5.
7.5 for the.
I'm going under.
Gophers.
I'm going under.
I'm going under, but probably 7 and 5. Well, I don't know. We'll see what the transition's like. I mean, there's no guarantee they're going to be good right away.
Wouldn't it be funny if PJ Fleck just started running down the sideline like he does, and a player started to run out to the field because he forgot his helmet, and they just collided, and Fleck went flying like 15 yards?
You know what's frustrating is that PJ Fleck is so much more active on the sideline than Tim Beckman was, but I bet you that PJ Fleck has 0 sideline interferences. He probably has the wherewithal to not run into
in your
the field
mouth
of play.
Coach.
Head on a swivel constantly.
Right, exactly.
Maryland, key returning starter, wide receiver DJ Moore. DJ Durkin's head coaching record is 6-7 for the Terrapins.
I have boycotted any Maryland or Rutgers talk because they shouldn't be in the Big Ten. But I will go 6.5.
I was going to say 6.5, but for fun, I'll say 7.
3, actually.
Wow.
For the Terrapins.
What?
Wow, Harry was on it with 4.
Okay,
Are
so
they
they
going to
must
be
have
that bad?
It's a possibility.
Listen, if Vegas has them at that means they're going to be that bad. Vegas is never wrong.
All right, Nebraska, key returning starter. Wild card is a transfer here. It's Tulane transfer quarterback Tanner Lee. Mike Riley's Nebraska record is 15-11.
I think they're going to have a good year. They love this new quarterback. I'm going to go 8.
I'm going to go 7.5.
7 for the Huskers.
Wow. I'm going to go over there.
I am too.
Unless Illinois can beat them at home.
Spring the upset on a Friday night.
You'll have to tune in to Dare to Dream later on to find out if we have Illinois beating Nebraska.
Let's go with the team up north, Northwestern. Key returning starter, running back Justin Jackson.
He's so good.
Pat Fitzgerald's Nebraska.
That's it. That guy.
Northwestern.
I get really angry when I think of Pat Fitzgerald.
77-62.
You can start this one.
Oh, boy. 6.5?
It's going to be higher than that. 7.5.
8.5 for the Huskers.
I'm going under.
For the Wildcats.
I'm going under.
I'm going over.
Especially when Illinois beats them to get to a bowl game.
I'm going over, sadly.
All right.
Tune in to Dare to Dream to find out if we...
Penn State. Key returning starter, running back Saquon Barkley.
Oh, is he good?
James Franklin's Penn State record is 25-15.
Man, there's some good running backs in the Big Ten.
Lots of them.
Penn State. They're in the East.
Yes.
They're going to lose to Ohio State. They're going to lose to Michigan.
Well, I beat Ohio State last year, but they do have to go to Ohio State this year.
I'm going to go 8.5.
I'm going to go 10.
Ding, 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 Carp. You're the winner.
On the dot, 10?
Yes.
Okay.
They really
They get Michigan at home.
I'm going under on that.
Yeah.
No way they get 10.
All right, let's go with Purdue next. Key returning starter, quarterback David Blau and Jeff Brom.
Wow.
Jeff Brom, he is new at Purdue.
-2.
I'm going to say over under 3.5.
I was going to go 3, and so was Harry.
2.5.
Wow.
For Purdue, 2.5 wins.
Has anybody ever had a negative?
I'm going to go under 2 and 10.
All right, next one, Indiana.
Are they going to beat us? Are they going to beat it?
No.
They better not.
We have more talent.
I mean, hey, if Chase Crouch would have played that full game,
yeah, you're right.
Illinois would have won.
That's it? That's at West
I'm
Lafayette.
shaking heads from Harry. So I'm right that Illinois is going to beat Purdue.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to do our show maybe from West Lafayette.
Yeah, I mean, if Illinois is somewhat interesting, I think that'd be fun to go over. I need to see more than just 5 games in person.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Indiana, key returning starter, lining back to Gray Scales, head coach Tom Allen. He is new.
He is a good old boy, and I'm going to put them at 5.5.
Which team was this again? I'm sorry.
Indiana.
Indiana at 5.
Is that game here? That game's here. Right?
I'm going to say 4.5.
6.5 for the Hoosiers.
How are all these teams in the East going to get this many wins?
They're not.
And how is Maryland at 3 and Indiana's at 6.5?
I don't know.
Maryland must have just lost a lot of guys, and it's just these young recruiting classes.
All right, let's go with Illinois next. Key returning starter, Mikey Dudek. Lovie Smith's Illini record, 3-9.
Over under 3.5.
I'll go 4.
3.5. Carp, you were right again.
And they're going to go over that.
All right.
If I had $100 right now, and I don't, I'd put it over.
All right, let's go with Ohio State next. Key starter coming back, JT Barrett. Urban Meyer head coaching record at OSU, 61-6.
And Greg Schiano, I read in the News Gazette, said that his defensive line this year is the best he's ever coached, including the NFL. I'm going 11.
I'm going in 11.5 because they're basically going to be asking people, do they lose a regular season game?
That's a good call. I mean, that's a price.
10.5 for the Buckeyes.
I'm going over. I'm going over.
I mean, it just seems like no matter how good you are, there's the chance for missteps.
You're right. And Tim Beckman at Toledo almost beat him.
Yeah, true.
And the final one, Rutgers. Key starter coming back, running back Robert Martin. Chris Ash's record, 2-10 with the Rutgers. Scarlet Knights are
over under 2.5.
2.5. Okay, I'll go 3.
Ding, ding, ding. Lon, you were correct.
Really?
At 3. So it goes Purdue, Rutgers, Maryland, Illinois, Michigan State, Indiana, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Northwestern, Michigan, Penn State, Wisconsin, and then Ohio State in the lead with 10.5.
Northwestern is 4th highest in terms of over-under in Vegas.
Wow.
Yes, tied with Michigan.
Oh.
And you have a purple kind of Northwestern shirt on today.
Wow.
Tim Beckman would not be happy with you.
No, he would not.
He would not let you in.
I just noticed that.
In the office.
That team
Way to
in
go,
the North.
Carp.
Sorry.
All right. Next hour, we have drive time, and Jeremy Warner is calling in sometime.
We also have a DPDO office hookup. Last one.
Sweet. All right, we'll do that all next hour. It's the Tay and J Show.
Am I wrong?
It's another day. Bob returns after helping the Franklins. Hey, Bob, how's it going?
I feel bad. Rooter guys lost another one.
Oh, let me guess. You did another no-clog guaranteed sewer replacement.
Yeah, I do feel good knowing we fixed their problem permanently for 40% less than conventional methods.
Got sewer problems at your home or business? Call Stevens Underground Solutions. We'll see what's going on and give you multiple options for a permanent solution. Stevens Underground Solutions, 202-3385. We'll get you flowing again.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Okay, U of I Meat Sales Room theme song, take one. The Meat Boat. Soon we'll be grilling another steak. I'm pretty sure that's already been done before. Take 2. I'll eat meat with you. I'll eat burgers and brats. And again, already been done before. Take 3. Meat, 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 meat. Meat, 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 meat. The U of I Meat Sales Room on Maryland and Urbana. They may not have clever theme songs, but they do have the best meat in town.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
As for new UN sanctions, I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. North Korea calls the sanctions part of a heinous U.S. plot to isolate and stifle the country, saying it will launch thousands-fold revenge, insisting its nuclear and missile programs will never be up for negotiation.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson on the sidelines of an Asian Economic Conference in the Philippines, urging Russia and China to uphold new sanctions against North Korea. The added pressure coming just days after the UN Security Council voted to punish North Korea for escalating its nuclear missile program with recent launches.
I think the world is also expressing a view to China and Russia that we do have an expectation that you will do everything you possibly can to help North Korea understand the reality of the future as well and bring them to the negotiating table.
Fox's Ellison Barber reporting U.S. spy satellites detecting North Korea moving anti-ship cruise missiles on a patrol boat off that country's east coast. Hasn't happened since 2014, one U.S. official saying doesn't bode well for hopes of de-escalating tensions. The city of Chicago suing over $3.2 million in federal grant money. The Justice Department requiring so-called sanctuary cities to comply with federal immigration policy.
The application says to get money, a police department must share with the federal government immigration status of certain subjects, must grant federal agents unlimited access to local police stations, and must give Homeland Security agents a 48-hour warning before releasing someone wanted for immigration violations. The lawsuit claims the policies violate the Fourth Amendment.
Fox's Mike Tobin, Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the city is putting law enforcement officers at risk. And 2 new record closes on Wall Street, the Dow and the S&P 500. Fox News, fair and balanced.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is in full swing.
All right, man. 7 ballparks in 7 days. Here we go.
I've got my maps.
You don't need them. Huh? I got a nav system. See, you can even pinch to zoom. Look at.
And with available Sync 3 and voice-activated navigation, Ford Fusion has the tech to get you there and back.
Okay, you're holding that map upside down, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I thought Indiana looked strange.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand, during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Get 0% financing for 72 months on select Fusion, Escape, Edge, and Explorer models. Plus, get $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends August 22nd. Best selling based on current year 2016 sales. Don't drive while distracted. Use voice-operated systems when possible. Don't use handheld devices while driving. Not all buyers qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month per $1,000 finance regardless of down payment. Trade Assist Cash requires trade-in of 95 or newer vehicle or lease terminated 30 days prior to or 90 days after new retail delivery. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details. Take delivery from dealer stock by August 22nd, 2017.
Midtown Tulsa spent this Monday cleaning up debris after an EF2 tornado touched down early Sunday morning. This homeowner saying,
I was planning on doing a little bit of renovation, but now now I'll be doing a lot of renovation.
Nearly 200 homes and businesses damaged. 30 people were hurt. Record-setting rain falling in parts of Texas, 7 inches over 24 hours, flooding streets, knocking out power, and forcing some high-water rescues like this one in San Antonio. A man had to climb onto the roof of his SUV.
It requires the ladders and the boats. We're fortunate that we got the ladder far enough back in the water that we could reach him.
Wally Yates with the San Antonio Fire Department. Tropical storm Franklin making tracks for Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Maximum sustained winds 60 miles an hour. They didn't keep a campaign promise because lawmakers from his party failed to repeal and replace Obamacare. So a GOP donor is suing them. Bob Hegman also suggesting
what we want to do in the replace part is add a third option called a community health insurance option, which will allow the average family to buy affordable insurance with affordable premiums.
Taylor Swift in a federal courthouse in Denver, Colorado, watching jury selection in a case that pits the pop star against a fired former DJ.
David Mueller is accused of groping the singer during a backstage visit at a concert in 2013. Mueller is suing Swift for $3 million, saying he was canned from his radio job unfairly. Miss Swift is countersuing, seeking a ruling that holds Mueller responsible, and she wants $1. Swift is expected to testify and wants a verdict that is holding Mueller responsible and serving as an example to other women who may resist publicly reliving similar outrageous and humiliating acts.
That's Michelle Polino. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News Radio.
Janie Metzler.
There's my pal, my Twitter pal, actually.
Whoever was watching the live stream at that last break was given a show.
Yes, they were.
In fact, I'm going to do it again the next commercial break.
Okay.
So if you are out there near a computer, you need to get to YouTube and watch the Tay and J Show.
Can you do the whole second segment in that, please?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Let me think about it.
Here's your ESPN 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. That's 866 Experts are online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight getting down to 52. Tomorrow, 81 and sunny with a low of 58 overnight. And then 82 and sunny with a low of 62 on Wednesday. A beautiful week ahead. Right now it is 74 and cloudy. Yep. ESPN Radio. It is Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW of Champaign for a wide selection of new and used vehicles. Visit online at drivechampaign.com or at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy. Drive Time, where we recap everything we've talked about so far on the Tay and J Show.
Wow, we messed up on that one.
Well, can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Because we were talking during the break.
Right.
About making a trip to Purdue.
Oh, and you were double checking
So I pulled up my hotels.com app.
Okay.
And I'm looking for hotel rooms, and it's pretty cheap over there.
Days in,
let's just
$64.
say, I don't think they sell out the hotel rooms on football weekends like they did in the Joe Tiller era.
Probably not.
So it's a cheap little trip. I think we should just lock it in and do it.
Let's do it.
A Tay and Carp Road show.
I'm ready. And Harry's going because he's never been to West Lafayette. I'm in. Let's do it. And we won't watch Calvin Avery play at West Lafayette this year. But down the road, hopefully he will be pestering Boilermakers everywhere. Illinois, great news over the weekend. Lovie Smith and his staff land Texas 4-star defensive lineman Calvin Avery. And the one thing, Carp, that we talked about, last year's class ranked in the top, I want to say 30. Let's say 35 for posterity's sake. So 35th in the nation. This class now with this signing of Avery, and they still have more work to do. And it could go down as well, but they're right in that same 36, 37 area. If you start putting together top 40 classes back-to-back, sure, it's not going to help you this year. Might not help you next year. But in 3-4 years, you're going to start putting together some depth on a team, Carp, and not, like Clabe said even, not something that you're really good this year and then you lose a couple guys and you're done. That's how you build that depth to get a winning program.
Class upon class, like Iowa, like Wisconsin. I don't know how many blue chips you're going to get, but we did see last year with Lovie Smith that he was able to really get more momentum when the season ended.
Agreed.
It was a late push, and they were able to really hone in on the guys that they needed. They're doing great with offensive and defensive linemen. That's especially encouraging.
No doubt.
The defensive linemen, they already brought in for this class, and then you get a guy like Calvin Avery for this class. And it seems like they identify, okay, this is the kind of athlete that we want.
Right.
And they go straight ahead and get that guy. What I like about both Lovie Smith and then to try to compare him with Brad Underwood is it seems like they know exactly what they want, and they're going to go after that.
I like it.
And meanwhile, that might lead to some anxious times for fans as they try to keep tabs on how many recruits do we have, what's their star ranking. Maybe I don't give enough credit to Lovie Smith and the career that he's had to say, you know what, I need to be patient. He deserves that sort of patience when it comes to each class, because if they close this one out strongly, and if you get anywhere in the middle pack of the Big Ten, that's enough with good coaching to start winning and going to bowl games.
Without a doubt. And Avery even said it. We played the clip from him. Maybe we'll play it again, actually, this hour, of him talking about Lovie Smith and why he's coming to Illinois. And he basically said, I want to get to the NFL. And Lovie Smith has coached in the NFL. That's one thing that when Lovie Smith was hired, and you and I were right here on a Saturday, a chilly Saturday, and we sat there and said, that is going to be one thing that's going to attract recruits here, is the fact that Lovie Smith has been there and done that. He's coached in the NFL, and today you hear that, or this weekend we hear it from Calvin Avery. So a big coup, no doubt, for this Illini staff. All right, we also talked baseball. We talked about Carl Edwards Jr., and I asked Austin, what is wrong with him? And he said he's not locating. He's getting behind in the counts. And Carp, you know how it is. You get behind 3-1. Major league hitter is going to know you're going to bring something near the strike zone unless you're going to walk him. And especially with the bases loaded, you're going to go up swinging from your heels. And that's exactly what happened with a grand slam for Matt Wieters. So Carl Edwards Jr., Austin even mentioned maybe you send him to Iowa and get him right again, because they're going to need him if they're going to make a run.
Yeah, absolutely. And Justin Wilson so far, it's too early to tell what kind of impact he's going to have on this team. But C.J. Edwards, if you go back to July 21st against the Cardinals, bad outing. He had a few decent outings after that, but then in the last three, he's given up at least an earned run in each of those.
Wow.
And he's just not striking guys out like he used to. He's walking too many guys.
Okay.
And that ERA has ballooned above 3, where it was in the low 2s just a month ago. So
you know what he needs to do? Austin, you know what he needs to do? He needs to start driving NASCAR again. We also talked about Carlos Martinez, and I went on a little run about it's time for him to act like an ace. I love Carlos Martinez. I love the fact that he signed for 5 years. If all 5 starters were healthy and ready to go tomorrow in a big game, he's your starter. There's no doubt. There's not one thought in your mind about who you're starting in that game. But he has not shown up when he's needed to be an ace this year. Tonight is a perfect example. Yes, I'm fooling myself because all of a sudden the Cardinals are 3.5 games out. Yes, I'm fooling myself because all of a sudden they could get back to 500, which seemingly has been that mark that they can't ever get to. Tonight you're at Kansas City. Tonight, Carp, I want to see Carlos Martinez go out and pitch like an ace. Tonight.
It's a good matchup for the Cardinals.
It is.
I think they should be able to score off Ian Kennedy.
Right.
He's fine.
Yeah.
You got Vargas tomorrow. He's probably the best of the bunch. Other than that, this 4-game series,
it's a big one, I think, for St.
And you
Louis.
know what? No more of this, let's split the 4.
I know.
You gotta win 3 out of 4 if this is going to be an actual playoff run, which it can be. But these are the kinds of series while the Cubs go out west and while you just have to travel a very short trip over to Kansas City, a team that is playing well but is still just mediocre.
I agree.
So it'd be better than mediocre, and that means you're going to win 3 out of 4. That would be a good series for the Cardinals.
Jay Cutler is back in the NFL. I told you that as a guy that's not a Bears fan, but yet I kind of root for the Bears a little bit. I think this is hilarious that he's back in the NFL because it absolutely ticked off everybody on my Twitter and Facebook timeline about Jay Cutler coming back to the NFL. I love how one person that nobody knows, has never even met, can just ruin a day because he signs a $10 million deal. Can he do anything well with the Dolphins, you think? Can he
Yeah.
have a pretty good year? I think he can, too.
Yeah, I think they can be 10-6,
Okay.
just based on the fact they're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback.
A Jay or whatever is a good running back?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jay Cutler is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be fine, and it will be an interesting storyline to follow. I was looking forward to him calling games.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to be great with that, but he's got a long time to do that.
Yes, he does.
It's funny. Today he said something along the lines of, as a quarterback, I don't need to be in great cardiovascular shape, in reference to a question that said, okay, well, how are you going to be ready to go?
Yeah, are you ready to go?
And I don't see what's wrong with that.
I know, and Claves even, Mike Claiborne, who we had on, he even jumped on that.
Well, but people don't like
Joking.
Jay Cutler,
Yeah.
and I get it. He has, when his face is in a resting position, there's a term for it with women.
When
that
his
is,
face is in a resting position.
do you know what I'm alluding
yes,
to?
I
Okay,
do.
yeah. He has that.
Okay.
The male form of it.
Right.
And he just bothers people.
Okay.
And I get points of him that are just super annoying. But at the end of the day, as a Bears fan, he at least was part of a run where they were relevant.
Yeah, I
Even
agree.
if that means not always in a good way, they were relevant. Well, the Bears are completely relevant now. And you see what it's like to not have a good quarterback. He is good. He works well with Adam Gase.
Sure. That'll be the key.
It's a perfect setup. I mean,
Okay.
it's a great setup, and there's a reason Adam Gase was going as hard after
Agreed.
Jay Cutler as he did.
Totally agree. We also went around the Big Ten. Austin compiled an over-under from Vegas. And I made the statement of Vegas is never wrong, and somebody texted in and said, Lon, Vegas is wrong. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know on occasion they're going to be wrong, but more times than not, Vegas is right.
You were just making a generalization.
Right.
You were not saying 100% of the time Vegas is right.
Well, boys, 978 million bets, and we nailed all 978 million.
Yep.
Well done. Have a beer tonight. But it is a situation where we started going through the teams, and they had Illinois at what?
3.5.
3.5.
Over under 3.5 wins in the year. We both said over, but
Yes.
I'm in like 4-8 camp. I'm not in the 5 and 7.
I'm with you there. Until Dare to Dream.
Until Dare to Dream, when we do best case scenario for every game.
Oh, I cannot wait for that show.
And you know
cannot
what?
wait.
Things do happen where you look at other teams on that schedule, and before the year, who would have guessed Michigan State last year was anything close to a winnable game?
Totally agree.
So I don't know if there's going to be something that drastic where you look at a team on the schedule and they end up just being much, much worse than what you thought. But if Illinois is better than our very meager expectations,
Good call.
then it is a schedule that allows them a little bit of intrigue.
We have 40 seconds. What team surprised you the most? Was it Northwestern at 8.5 or whatever?
Not necessarily. I think it probably would be Ohio State at 10.5.
Okay.
And Penn State
and Maryland
just beneath
at
that.
3 or whatever.
Yeah, because I think Ohio State's going to go 11-1 or 12-0. So I thought it was going to be 11.5. Take your pick.
Would agree. All right, buddy.
Drive Time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For a wide selection of new and used vehicles, visit them online at drivechampaign.com or the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy. How about we got Jeremy Werner coming up at 5:25?
Okay.
You want to play some bed music here and we start this DPDO office hookup?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hold on 1 second. That's too heavy. Wait. You wanted 51?
Please be smooth.
Harry wanted 51.
Please be smooth. By Rob Thomas.
There it goes.
And Santana. Oh, well, it's Rob Thomas.
Wow. I like it.
Now, let's see how we cut this. If the vocals are there now. Well done, Harry. All right, so this is a Matchbox 20 for DPDO office hookup. Hopefully Steve at DPDO likes Matchbox 20.
40-second thing, so you're not going to get through
Okay.
it.
Well, throughout the summer, DPDO is hooking up your office with a catered lunch, a calzone, salad, and fresh baked cookies for up to 25 people. This is the last one this summer.
This is it?
Yes. It's
Okay.
this easy. You text us at 359-2255 with the name of your office and how many people you work with.
Okay.
Along with your office and the number of people you work with, let us know who the most beautiful actress in the world is.
Wow,
It
is
is
that where we're going?
Charlize Theron's 41st birthday. You can say Charlize. I think she is the
she's
most
very
beautiful
pretty.
actress in the world. But just text 359-2255. That's 359-CALL with the name of your office, how many people you work with, and the most beautiful actress in the world.
Would I get ridiculed if I told you that I don't think Charlize Theron is that pretty?
Wow.
I don't know why.
Interesting. I think she's drop dead, like Grace Kelly-esque.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know that.
Fran Drescher is an option.
That's
I would potentially choose Fran Drescher.
That's your girl, isn't it? You love Fran Drescher.
If you're going old school, you can go old school. You can say Sophia Loren.
Oh, I love it.
You could say Audrey Hepburn.
Nice. Look at you just pulling these back in the day babes out.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Suzanne Summers.
Oh, yes. Bo Derek.
Wow, from 10. With Dudley Moore, right?
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks? Well, that's an
That was Harry.
She's cute. I'll show you, Lon. You would have seen her in some films.
What's our girl that was in Groundhog Day?
Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell, done.
Andy McDowell.
Wins everything.
Cute patoote.
All right, Jeremy Werner's coming up, and if you're on the YouTube stream, you need to be watching soon. You're going to get a treat. Where do they go? They just search Tay and J.
Search
and it's
Tay
just
and J Show.
Just J.
Just the letter J.
And J. You're going to get a treat here in about 2 minutes.
Yep.
It's a Tay and J Show.
You've heard me doing my hobby. Roll them up! Warner Rap, go! I also have a real job as co-owner of 2 insurance agencies with more than 50 years of service to Central Illinois. Hey, it's Lon Tay, and I'm excited to do business with you. For a free business, auto, home, or life insurance quote, call me at 832-2411. Partnering with Pekin Insurance, you're guaranteed to receive a competitive quote. Going beyond the expected with Pekin Insurance and the Hillard Agency. Call 832-2411.
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign.
Hey, this is Brad with Kramer Siding and Window Company. And did you know for over 60 years now, we've been providing worry-free home improvements at a great value. Maybe you've thought about getting that roof replaced? We can do a complete roof tear-off for as little as $140 a month. Or maybe replace some of that siding with our premium insulated vinyl siding for as little as $165 a month. If you've thought about either a roof or siding, call us right now at Kramer Siding and Window Company.
With 60 years of experience, you can trust Kramer Siding will be here for you today and tomorrow. Right now, save 30% on preservation windows, siding, and doors, 10% on roofing and sunrooms. Plus, save 15% on gutter helmet and never clean your gutters again. Give us a call today at 355-2727. Visit our showroom or on the web at kramersiding.com.
Kramer Siding and Window. You got a friend in the business.
Hi guys, it's your pal Corny from the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival here. I'm so excited to present the 43rd annual celebration of me, August 25th and 26th. This year's festival has gone back to my roots and is local. Visit me at the area's largest free festival and find the best local vendors, live music, the Motor Muster Car Show, and of course, the main attraction, hot and buttery locally grown sweet corn.
This festival is proudly brought to you by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, WCIA, the UMTD, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
At the Habitat for Humanity Restore, it's back to school and time to shop for your student. Stop in and find great deals on gently used furniture, household items, small appliances, dishes, and just about anything you need to furnish a dorm room or apartment. Since new items arrive daily and merchandise is discounted every week, there's always a great deal waiting for you at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. Conveniently located just 3 blocks from Campustown on the corner of 2nd and University at 119 East University. Stop in today and find your back to school special.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
Jay Cutler has a chance most don't get because it's a chance most don't need. You follow me? After stepping off the field and into the broadcast booth, Cutler's decided to step out of the booth and back onto the field, signing a 1-year contract with the Dolphins where he will take the place of the injured Ryan Tannehill. What's this opportunity present for Cutler? Well, a chance to get a lot of us off his back. He's been badly overrated, hasn't had a winning season in 5 years. Know how many seasons he's played in the playoffs? 1 in 11 seasons. Most don't expect the Dolphins to be playoff good, so here's where I see Cutler having a chance to finish strong. In the field of leadership. This team needs him to come in, own camp, mesh with his line and receivers quickly, be the offensive voice in the locker room. No more head-hanging, self-pitying reactions when something doesn't go his way. The hard-to-like Jay Cutler from Santa Claus, Indiana, woke up this morning to find opportunity under his tree. Now take advantage of it. In 60 seconds, just when I thought the NFL was getting it.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are, and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
We alarm our houses, and we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your social security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
So the NFL recently said they would allow more creativity with celebrations. Fun would not automatically earn a flag, but don't shoot the imaginary arrow into the sky. Redskins cornerback Josh Norman thinks the NFL's picking on him specifically by pointing out that no form of imaginary weaponry celebrations are legal. Norman likes to shoot his imaginary arrow with his imaginary bow, but he got a real-life penalty and fined for it last year. Now, his biggest point seems to be that not all imaginary weaponry should be treated equal. And he's exactly right. He says, quote, "Come on, man, let's have fun. We're not out here shooting someone with a gun. I could understand that. It's shooting a bow and arrow, an imaginary bow and arrow. Why is that violence? You saying the people that came before us were violent? That's how I see it," end quote. Point Norman. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late. It's time to make a stand. Call 877 F.E. Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hello, this is Shane Colt from Country Arbors Nursery. Country Arbors Nursery is your local garden center, and we're fully stocked with perennials, trees, shrubs, and annuals all summer long. This week only, we're having a Fill the Green cart sale. All the 4-inch annuals and flats you can fit into a green cart without stacking for $20. We've seen people get as many as 50 plants. There are restrictions, but I promise it's the best deal you'll ever see on annuals. If you're more into shade, Country Arbors is also having a big sale on trees. Buy any tree this week and we'll give you 20% off the tree and 10% off the planting. So come out to Country Arbors Nursery or go to countryarbors.com for more information and directions.
You buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Celebrate with 0%, 50,000 bonus points, and 5 times points. The University of Illinois is celebrating 150 years, and the U of I Community Credit Union is getting in on the celebration with this exclusive offer. Now through September 30th, open a new Illini Visa and watch the advantages roll in, like 0%. That's right, 0% on all purchases until May 2018 for qualified applicants. Plus, everyone who opens a new Illini Visa rewards card could earn up to 50,000 bonus points. Use those points to purchase trips, gift cards, electronics, and more. But that's not all. All reward card holders will earn 5 times points on U of I purchases. Apply for your card today at IlliniCard.org. That's IlliniCard.org. Celebrate the University of Illinois and get rewarded, because no one cheers louder for the community than the U of I Community Credit Union.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Hail to the orange. Hail to the blue with Game Day Spirit Fan Store. Game Day is the exclusive retailer of this year's Hail to the Orange t-shirt. Don't miss out on getting yours. Find the exclusive Hail to the Orange t-shirt at any of the Game Day Spirit locations or order online at GameDaySpirit.com. Youth, adult, and extended sizes available in the BOGO section at Game Day Spirit. Located at 519 East Green Street in Campustown and now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Game Day Spirit. Go Illini!
Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. At State Farm and Home and Auto work as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today. We start with the Illini. Lovie Smith secured a commitment from Bishop Dunn High School in Calvin Avery, a 4-star defensive lineman. The 6'2" Texan chose Illinois over Colorado, Oklahoma, TCU, and USC. The state breakdown is 6 commits from Florida, 4 from Illinois, and 2 from Texas. The Illini have some new competition for small forward Taylor Horton Tucker from Chicago Simeon. He got offered from Bill Self in Kansas over the weekend.
Boo.
The Cubs fell twice to the Nationals over the weekend. In Sunday's 9-4 loss, Carl Edwards gave up a grand slam to Matt Wieters in the 9th inning. The Cubs traveled to San Fran for a series against the Giants. Here are the pitching matchups for the series tonight's Arrieta versus Moore, Tuesday Quintana versus Block, and Wednesday Hendricks versus Bumgarner. You can hear tonight's 9:15 game on US 105.9. The Cards took 2 of 3 against the Reds this past weekend. In the game Sunday, the Cards drubbed the Reds 13-4. Jose Martinez went deep for his 8th homer. Dexter Fowler has been activated from the Cardinals from the DL
championship.
Steven Piscotty has been assigned to AAA Memphis. The Miami Dolphins made it official. They signed former Bears quarterback Jay Cutler. Cuddy has a career 85.7 quarterback rating and has thrown for 208 touchdowns and 146 interceptions. The Dolphins did look at Colin Kaepernick, Kyle Orton, and Mets farmhand outfielder Tim Tebow. And that, my friends, is the Sports Center update.
Hey, understanding the basics of budgeting, saving, and monitoring money doesn't always mean you're in control of your spending. Here are 4 reasons why you break your budget, according to Busey. You forget the future. Leave emergency savings for emergencies only. Instead, make room in your budget for discretionary expenses. Bad home equity habits. Don't think of your home as a piggy bank. Be smart with your home equity loan or line of credit. Mixing mood with money. Spend money when you're happy and positive, when it's easier to remember long-term financial goals, and rewarding yourself too often. Scale back on impulse purchases and save money ahead of time. Manage your finances whenever you want, wherever you are. With Busey's mobile and online services, they have a lot of tools, including Busey mobile app. You can chat in real time with a Busey associate. How about Busey Text? You can view balances or transfer right from your cell phone. Finance Works, they also have Busey bill payment. Regain control of your finances with Busey. Visit Busey.com. Call 1-800-67-BUSEY or stop by one of their many convenient locations today. Busey, member FDIC.
Tay and J Show. Mike Carpenter in for Jeremy Warner with Lon Tay. And we have a winner for the DP Dough office hookup. It is Ryan Trott from AHW, Salma Hayek.
Oh, wow.
A fantastic choice.
Would not have thought it. It would never come to my mind.
A beautiful woman. Katie Holmes was one. We had Jessica Alba. That's a good call.
Oh, yes.
Jennifer Aniston. I know that's Lon's gal right
and
there.
David's a young man, and he likes Jennifer Aniston.
I'd say the runner-up probably would have been Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Entrapment?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Mask of Zorro? Where's the Zorro?
Zorro, right?
With Antonio Banderas. That was her breakout movie.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. I'm not sure if I ever watched that. I think I remember the previews.
Good movie. Good movie. And Anthony Hopkins was the older guy that trained Zorro. Yeah.
Hey, it's time to head to the Jupiter's at the Crossing phone line. Check out Jupiter's at the Crossing's new gaming arcade area featuring brand new gaming cards that you can recharge with credits each time you come back to Jupiter's. Jeremy Warner joining us. How are you, Jeremy?
The answer is Scarlett Johansson, boys.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know. I mean, she's up there.
I am trying to hook a interview with not only her and Frank Thomas on our last show.
I'll try for Tommy Her again.
Right.
Is that compared to Frank Thomas?
That's perfect.
Joe?
And then I need either Jennifer Lopez or whoever else. No, Sandra Bullock.
I'll have to go through A-Rod. On that one.
We can make it happen. All right, before we get going on Illinois in the actual training camp, Calvin Avery, I saw that on your tweets, etc. over the weekend. That's big news for Illinois, right?
Oh, it was a huge one. I was talking to a few people. They were popping some beers over in the football office. on Friday. I told you guys I was pretty confident going in because Illinois was pretty confident going in. But I got to tell you, Calvin was here for the June Friday Night Lights camp with Kevin Myers, and I really didn't do anything on Calvin because I really didn't think Illinois had much of a chance. But that visit really changed a lot of things. Kevin Myers, he's really, really close with. And Lovie Smith just really resonates down at Bishop Dunn. They love him. Andrew Hayes Stoker's been working that school for a really long time. He went over in Texas last year and got a lot of criticism for it. But it took him 2 years, but he's got two really, really good players out of there. But this is the top-ranked player Lovie Smith has gotten. I mean, you beat out some really good schools for him, including TCU, an in-state school. But this kid wants to go pro, and he thinks he fits in with Lovie Smith and Hardy Nickerson's defense. He thinks this staff is the best one to get him there. Now, I do expect him to take some official visits, possibly to Colorado and USC, but he seems really sold on Illinois. Okay. I don't think he makes that announcement unless he is. So this is a big-time commit, not only on the field, because, guys, he has a special, just like we talked about Larry Boyd, guys that big aren't supposed to move that quick, but Calvin does. Larry Boyd does. Those two guys are, difference makers at the Big Ten, potential future NFL draft picks. And Illinois just beat some really good schools for him. It's the Lovie effect in full force. It's a recruiting staff that 2 years in finally gets into Texas. It's a monstrous gift for this staff.
Is this going to be a three-technique D lineman, sort of like a Tommy Harris prototype?
Yeah, I asked somebody in the program, and I asked them, "Is he a nose in your system?" And they go, "We're not gonna hold him to that. We think he can play both sides, both a three technique, like you're saying, Tommy Harris, but even a nose in this scheme, guys, doesn't really try to plug up gaps. He's just trying to own his gap, get upfield, rush the passer. Calvin Avery can definitely do that. I mean, even at 310 pounds, he's quicker than most offensive linemen he's going against. So a special talent. He wouldn't be ranked in the top 200 if he wasn't. But you pair him with Kendrick Green, Tamir Oliver, who's had a really strong camp. And Kenyon Jackson had a good year last year, but he's kind of getting lost with all this talent. Larry Oladipo at defensive tackle. Jamal Woods has looked good there. And I haven't even mentioned Jamal Milan, who has a great potential. I mean, that interior, guys, is going to be a strength for this team in the future. And this defensive line, when you add Owen Carney and Bobby Roundtree will probably the best of the group. I think Isaiah Gay can be a Carroll Phillips kind of player. By 2019, I know that's a long way down the line, but by 2019, this defensive line could be scary good.
Absolutely. I'll be looking at some big old butts, Jeremy, like Akeem Spence, right?
Calvin's got one.
That's exactly right. Hey, all right, we're on a roll right now with Calvin Avery. We're feeling good. What would be another big name recruit that Illinois is in on right now that could really make another huge splash for this? Or is there one out there like Calvin Avery?
Yeah, I think, guys, they're in a really good spot. They have 12 commitments in this class. 17 to 20 probably will be the final number of this class. I think it'll be closer to 20. But now they can kind of sit back. They have a good base. They have some nice top prospects, especially, Avery and Kalen Tolson towards the end were really good gets. So now they've set themselves up to where, okay, let's sit back. Let's see if we can get some of these top guys. And some of those would be Ronnie Perkins, the defensive end out of St. Louis, who they're hoping to get on an official visit. I mean, he's got offers from basically everybody. Missouri, his brother attends there, Texas, Oklahoma, USC. But Illinois has had a good relationship there, so now they can swing for the fences for him. Isaac Taylor Stewart, the number 35 overall prospect in the class of 2018, a cornerback out of California, was just here for 3 days on a visit. Wow. I don't think you come here unless you're really interested. He's got family in Decatur, including his grandmother, who he's really close to. Dallas Craddock, a safety out of St. Louis, who they've been recruiting really hard. Thad Ward's been working that a long time. I know, some of the players from St. Louis have been working that for a while. Those are three of the bigger names that they're really going after. But getting a guy like Calvin Avery, I don't think it means all these dominoes will fall for them. But these are, these catch the attention of other players. Oh, he's going there? Okay, then we're on the rise. I want to go play with other talented guys. And then, of course, Luke Ford, guys, is the biggest name in state, the most talented player in state, one of the top tight ends in the country. He's not going to decide till signing day. I think Illinois has got to show him a lot on the field, which I think could be hard with the offense this year.
Right.
But they're still they're gonna shoot their shot for them, and that's what they got right now. They can really focus on these priority targets, and they can take some time to evaluate some guys, because there's some guys on the field right now, whether it's Alex Palczewski, Bennett Williams, Kendrick Green, another one, that are on the field that no one really thought Illinois was going to get at this time last year, and ended up being huge parts of that class.
Is the common denominator in these recruitments the ones that are kind of slow burners and then they pop when a lot of people wouldn't expect it? Is the common denominator Lovie Smith more often than not?
You don't get into these battles, guys, without the head coach,
nice.
right? I think for the most part. Now, you need the foot soldiers, and Thad Ward obviously has proven himself as that. I think Andrew Hayes Stoker, I've always seen a potential in him, and he's got the personality. The kids really like him, and now he's starting to show that potential on the recruiting trail. But you got to have the coach to close this. And when you have this much NFL experience on the staff, I mean, a lot of these kids, what do they want to do? What do they come in? Most of these kids, what are they coming to play football here for?
Yeah, they want to get
They're
to the
coming
NFL.
to play to try to get to the NFL.
Right.
I mean, that's what most kids want. Now, most kids can't get there. And you get a great education. There's plenty of kids that want the education too. But when it comes to guys like Calvin Avery, Luke Ford, they want to get to the NFL. And for Calvin, that was a big sell. And Lovie Smith knows the NFL well, knows what to find in players that can get to the NFL. So, yeah, I mean, you have a celebrity coach. Illinois hasn't had that, and now they have it. They have a guy who can pull them in, and then once he gets you on campus, once he gets you in a room with the parents, that's when he can really do his work. He's not flashy otherwise. He's not going to give you the Harbaugh statements. He's not going to be out there like that. He's not going to be out there like P.J. Fleck. But one-on-one, that's where he really makes his connections, and that's when he's dangerous. So when you get these kids on campus, like you did with Calvin Avery, that's when Illinois gets dangerous. Follow
him on Twitter, @JWernerScout. Is Mikey Dudek still healthy?
He is. He took the day off.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He's one on, one off. And that's smart. They actually had the top three receivers out today. Mikey Dudek, Malik Turner, and Sam Mays. They were all dressed and stuff, but they held those guys out today and gave the freshmen plenty of reps and got to get a little bit closer look at Ricky Smalling.
Yeah, what'd you think?
He looks the part, boys.
Okay.
He looks the part. He's really quick in and out of his breaks. He's a refined route runner. He's really competitive, and he's athletic too to go up and get one. But I got to tell you, it kind of shows you that Ricky, when he went up and to get a ball, jump up and get a ball for a jump ball, he never lost those in high school.
Wow.
Today, he and Tony Adams had a heck of a battle. It was a great jump ball, and Tony Adams came down with it. He's an impressive athlete. He's long like Ricky, and right now he's repping with the number one cornerback in the first-string defense. So, guys, there's a lot of freshmen that are going to play a lot. I think that shows you this is a talented freshman class that I'm excited about for the future. It also tells you the veterans, there's not very many of them, and there's not very many impact veterans. So this is going to be a very young team. But I find that exciting. And I think even if the wins don't show, you're going to see some exciting young talent on the field.
Jeremy, I feel like sometimes when we talk to you about training camp, you're the one out there. We try to ask the questions, but you're obviously the one there looking at all this stuff. Have we missed anything? You mentioned that about Tony Adams. I know there's a couple of freshmen on that side of the ball that could be interesting. Is there anything we've missed that you think listeners should know about maybe standouts going on right now at Illinois?
Yeah, absolutely. Some guys who are surprising. One would be kicker, James McCourt, the scholarship kicker. Had a great day today. He's had a good camp. He's now kind of with the first-string kickers. He went 8 for 8 at the beginning of practice today. So there's a little nugget. Bennett Williams, get to know him, guys. He could be your starting free safety.
Is he the California kid?
From California. Hardy Nickerson played with his dad, Gary. He could be your starting free safety.
Wow.
And I like it. I know Stanley Green had some big hits and some big plays last year, but he's not that fast. He wasn't that athletic. He missed some assignments. They need a rangier, more playmaking on the passing game's free safety. And Bennett Williams he's pretty athletic. He's got a nose for the ball. He's a lot stronger than I thought he'd be coming in at about 195. Just a kid who plays beyond his years. He plays like he's a 21-year-old. He's a ridiculously smart kid, too, off the field. But he's another kid to watch. I'm really worried about the offensive line. I'm Larry Boyd out today, guys, and the passing game was really bad. The quarterbacks are struggling in the passing game, especially Chase Crouch has had some struggles. But the offensive line, with the way they're playing, the quarterbacks are kind of running for their lives right now. That's a group I'm really worried about. With Larry Boyd, that's an injury. Christian DeLauro has been nicked up a little bit. That's a group that really I worry about. But the one positive is the running game's been pretty good.
Okay.
This needs to be a running team. Chase Crouch, when he gets out in the run, gets out in the option game, is good. Kendrick Foster, I feel like we don't talk about enough because we know he's good. He's looked really good. Mike Epstein and Rayvon Bonner have looked really, really good. But I think there's going to have to be a running team, and I think that's a good thing for their running team because it shortens the game up as well because you got a defense with a bunch of questions. But the passing game right now, just because of that offensive line and the shakiness of the quarterback accuracy, that's what I'm really worried about.
Great information. Jeremy Werner at training camp. You will be in the hot seat tomorrow, right? You're back on the show.
I'll be there, Lon.
All right,
I'll
buddy.
show up for work for a day.
All right. Well, it'll be nice to see you again. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, and before we go, Torin is 1 year old.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, my goodness.
That's nuts.
You posted the picture of him, the very first picture we ever saw of Torin with your hand. Was that your hand or?
Yeah, he was holding my hand. We were warming him up in the incubator.
And I saw that today, and I'm like, that has been a year? There's no way that's been a year. That's great. Well, congratulations to the little man. 1 year old. That's awesome.
Yeah, he had a big birthday party. Everyone does the smash cake.
Yes.
Well, he likes blueberries so much, we gave him a blueberry pie.
Oh.
But he was a neat eater, so we had to put the blueberries on his face just to get the picture. Because he's such a neat eater, like he just picked picked the blueberries and stuff like that. He had a good day, and we had a great day.
I love it. Well, keep posting the pictures because I love looking at them. All right, Jeremy, we will see you in studio tomorrow, my friend.
All right, see you, boys. Thanks.
See you, buddy. Jeremy Werner, good stuff from camp. Now, Carp, if that's true, and there's no reason not to believe Jeremy. In all the years I've known him, I don't think he's ever lied to me.
No fake news.
No fake news. So if that's true, this would be 2 bad days in a row for the offense, for the quarterback, like Chase Crouch and that offensive line. So that's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
These freshmen, though, do they excite you?
They do.
Hearing about that, does that get you excited? At least now, and hear me out here. Game 6 of the year, maybe Illinois has 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, the 6th home game. Maybe 3 wins. Are you excited to go in and see the freshmen or not quite?
That's hard to say.
Okay,
I mean, because I can sit here and say, I can enjoy the season if they go 3-9, but I see improvement.
No.
But then when you're 3-7, it's And I think knowing the long play here, that this is a long-term rebuild, it's a reclamation project that will take not just 1 or 2 classes. So football, that's the good and the bad part of it, is that when you establish that, okay, we have a good foundation, this is how we run things, you can have sustained success.
Okay.
And we've seen that with Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan State. And there's no reason Illinois can't do what those 3 schools have done.
Fair enough. But
the journey there it's just, listen, Illinois football's been terrible my whole life. What's another couple of years?
Right. You've got it down. You know what to do. You know how to tailgate. You understand what kind of games. I mean, we can do that for a couple of more years, and then all of a sudden our tailgating is going to take a hit because we're going to be excited to get into Memorial Stadium and stay.
I know.
I mean,
it's going to be a weird season. And
yeah.
I'm trying to think, because sometimes there's just an awful team and you can kind of laugh about it. This team will probably look awful in certain portions of the season, but I think back to this idea of the freshmen, how well they play. The freshmen we saw last year and the impacts that they made, that can at least make it intriguing even when things aren't going well. Now, an away game, if all of a sudden it's 35-0, I'm not going to be watching closely just so I can see the individual improvement from this freshman or that freshman. But I think take it as a whole, and if you look at that 12-game schedule and say, you know what, over the course of the year, this guy emerged, that guy emerged, this guy solidified his starting position going into next year. That will be the kind of storyline that you could latch on to, but game by game, there's going to be moments where it's just not interesting.
No, I'm with you.
I mean, bad football is still bad football.
Okay. I like that. All right, Calvin Avery, he's the 4-star defensive lineman from Texas that committed to Illinois. When we come back, our last segment, I want to replay how he made his decision. I think that's a funny way that he did it. So.
That, and we also have, I believe, a Would You Rather.
Oh, sweet.
Mr. Harry Black.
All right, then we'll hear from one future Illini football player and one that is no longer. I mean, he's here, but he's no longer an Illinois football player.
It sounded morbid, yeah. No longer
morbid.
with us, but he is in spirit.
And his jersey is hanging right behind me.
Yes, in memoriam.
In memoriam.
Harry Black.
Harry Black's Would You Rather. Next.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me. It's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead. Do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $3,100 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so you can work towards meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Mike Kessel, your Champaign Edward Jones financial advisor at 1701 Broadmoor Drive, Suite 110. Contact me today at 217-352-0117, 352-0117. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
I'm Chris Drummond, owner of Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Since 2006, we've provided the best professional carpet cleaning in the Champaign-Urbana area. At Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, we use the Rotovac carpet restoration system to assure the best carpet and upholstery cleaning service. For just $99, we offer carpet cleaning for 3 rooms or 4 rooms at $29.95 per room. Google Drummond Carpet Cleaning and see what our customers have been saying, or call for a free estimate at 217-722-3663. Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. If we didn't clean it, it isn't clean.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SE was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone wants the original, the authentic. And with a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the iconic luxury, unparalleled safety, and performance of Mercedes-Benz at a price you can afford. But just remember, only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. And only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer offers an unlimited mileage warranty, so you can drive with confidence as far as you'd like for up to 5 years. There are pre-owned vehicles, and then there are Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through August 31st and receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Pekin Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at PekinInsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Pekin Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For beyond the expected information, follow Pekin Insurance on Facebook today.
Sure, we've been called a mom and pop store. We take it as a compliment. After all, we are family owned and operated with 2 generations actively involved, and 5 of our team members have been with us for around 20 years each or longer. We run our business with old-fashioned customer service as our foundation, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Add our great selection of hand-picked mattresses, all proudly made in the USA at guaranteed lowest prices, and we're sure you won't find a better deal anywhere. Visit us and experience the Illini mattress difference today.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, so I think it's come to that time where I reach into the bag, because you always have to secure the bag. So I would like to take my talents to the University of...
The suspense. That is good stuff.
Hey, University of Illinois, man. Ain't no more playing, man. Orange and blue, big eye. Fighting the line now. Hey.
That is the new recruit, Calvin Avery. From Texas, 4-star defensive lineman. That was the news over the weekend. And as Jeremy said, some of the coaches popped a beer in celebration of that one, no doubt. All right. It is the Tay and J Show, wrapping up a Monday show. Harry Black is in studio with us now with a Would You Rather. What's up, Harry?
Can you queue up PC Left?
Yes.
But first, let's say, hey.
Oh. Texas, 4-star.
Oh, wait, sorry. I got the YouTube.
I
YouTube.
I'm hearing
show.
myself.
Well, I was just pulling up his theme.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, Harry.
What's up, Harry?
What's going on?
What do you got for us?
Well, right. I'll play the music. I'm sorry. I was just going to chit-chat with Harry for a second, see how the weekend was.
Oh, pretty good. Pretty uneventful, but,
Not bad?
No, not bad by any means. Just, kind of boring. Summer in Champaign. I mean, what else is there to do?
Do you hit downtown? Do you cruise around in a car?
Hit up the Bullet?
Yeah, the Bullet.
Do you go golf?
No, weekends are my, big Uber time.
Oh, got it.
But there's no one here.
Yeah.
So it's.
I want a Taxi Cab Confessions Harry Black version.
Yes, Harry Black.
Just
Uber
mount that phone. I mean, you probably could have one for GPS. I about to say GTPS.
Yeah.
Which
is good.
By repetition. But, just mount that phone up and have a camera going, and then I bet there'd be some pretty interesting
stuff
going on.
I bet there would be. All right, you got the music for Would You Rather?
It's time for Harry Black's Would You Rather.
All right, I love the clap. Harry, go ahead.
All right. So this one's a 4-parter almost.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Would you rather know that your number one favorite team in any sport would not win another championship for 20 years, 2 of your favorite teams wouldn't win for 10 years, so that could be 2 of your choosing, know every year every one of your favorite teams would win for the next 5 years, or have to pay 2.5 times the money for gas for a year?
So I get to pick either one of the first 3.
Or gas.
Just, if you are fine with, if you don't want anything spoiled for any of your sports, pay more money for gas for a year.
I would pay more money for gas.
What was the third option
I've
again?
done it before.
The third option is know every year every one of your favorite teams would win a championship for the next 5 years.
Wow.
That's good, though, right?
Well, it kind of ruins the whole purpose of watching for those next 5 years.
So I would know, the Yankees are going to win in 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Bears are going to win in 2021.
But because of that, I have to pay $4 a gallon.
To keep the suspense.
In all your sports.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I want to know.
Yeah, I'm fine knowing.
Yeah, I want to know.
I think it takes some of the anger of my sports fandom out of the equation, because I'd be like, it's all right. They're going to win this year.
Exactly.
Right.
But then when that year comes, what's the point of even watching?
It's like watching a good movie.
No, it's not.
Harry,
I mean, you're right. There is something much more rewarding about a game in the balance.
It's like a spoiler.
Yeah.
First of all, you're going to make a lot of money.
Right. This is a sort of Back to the Future thing, too, that you got to consider the money that will be made.
Where's Biff?
The Sports Almanac.
Even money aside, I would want to know, and I would be the most arrogant guy you'd ever be around for a year.
It's like your team's down by 30 points. Not even worried. They're going to come back.
I'd be texting people. I'd show up at restaurants and wearing an Arizona Cardinal uniform. They'd be down 28-0 at half, and I'm like, hey, just line up the shots because we're going to win this game.
Basically, a few $100s a year. You pay a few $100s a year for that extra gas.
Yeah.
Or you save that money and know what's going to happen. Right? Is that, in essence, the question?
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know, too.
I want to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that bad?
I don't think so.
Well, see, I think, you guys are grown-up adult people. For me, paying more money for gas is a struggle.
You guys are grown-up adult people. Very well done.
Lon went to school from 84 to 88. Come to find out.
88. That was my high school.
High school. There you go. Right.
Wow. 84 to 88. Half of our listeners weren't even born then.
A lot of people that go to college, they did not even see Jordan play for the Wizards.
Wow.
That's weird.
That's unreal. All right, I want to thank Brett Behrens, WCIA 3. Talk some high school football. Started today. Mike Claiborne, KMOX. Cardinals have a big one against Kansas City, and Jeremy Warner called in. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, David. Carp, we're out.
All right.
It's Tay and J Show.
First Financial Bank invites you to a free Community Shred Day on Saturday, August 12th at our Philo Road Banking Center in Urbana. Bring up to 5 boxes or bags of papers you no longer need, old tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, or any documents that contain personal information, and we'll shred them on the spot, completely and confidentially. We'll also be collecting worn-out American flags for respectful disposal by the VFW. That's Saturday, August 12th from 9 to 11 a.m. at First Financial Bank, 2510 South Philo Road in Urbana. Member FDIC.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late, it's time to make a stand. Call 877-FE Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
You're listening to WSJK